6. Command Toga, SRS runway, auto thrust is blue. 80 knots, thrust set. 5500. 31. Rotate.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another V1, a live stream. Coming at you from North Texas, sitting in Charlotte Douglas International Airport in the much anticipated, and for me personally, the most anticipated aircraft release of the decade, pretty much. I don't think I've been this excited for an airplane to hit the sim, maybe even ever, because when FS Labs dropped way back in the FSX days, I wasn't aware of it even coming out. I wasn't that involved in that stuff yet. So this, knowing it was in the pipeline, this FENIX 320, this is the most exciting add-on I've been waiting to release. I cannot wait to get this airplane fired up and showing you guys around. You guys know I'm an Airbus captain in real life. Do a lot of Airbus stuff on the channel. Oh man.
Skipping your friend's wedding to stream the FENIX. The best real Airbus pilot and the greatest YouTube CFI. Thanks, Captain. Bank angle check.
Mr. Scott kicking off the stream with a monster dono, $100. Bank angle check right back at you, sir. Thank you so much for that very, very generous dono, man. It's I really appreciate that, man. Very kind words of you. I'm glad you're enjoying the content, Scott. I know you've been around the channel a long, long time. This is it's awesome to see the continued support from you, and I can't thank you enough, man. Huge bank angle check right back at you, sir. Way to get the party started. But guys, it is here. This is it. The FENIX A320. Coincidentally, we're in 106 US. I actually was going to do Cactus 1549 LaGuardia to Charlotte today, but I think we're going to do that one tomorrow. So if you haven't been around the channel for long, I've been saying that the FENIX will probably release when my buddy gets married, because that's pretty much the only day that I would have limited time schedule. Well, he's getting married today, so we have time for one leg We're going to do a normal A to B flight. I'm going to go through this like a real-world procedure, real-world flight, do all my real-world captain stuff. Tomorrow, you want to make sure you're tuned back in because we are going to absolutely put this airplane through the ringer tomorrow. We're going to be pulling circuit breakers. We're going to be shutting engines down. It's going to be an absolute blast. So make sure you're ready for that tomorrow. Today, we're going to just take an overall look at the airplane. We're going to see how it flies. I'll show you some of my setup. I know you guys have been asking about the Honeycomb Bravo and of course like the side stick and all that. So I've got all that set up, ready to go. We'll get to that here in a little bit. Didn't need to restart the music there. Hold on, give me a second. But it's going to be awesome. I'm so super excited. And of course, I mean, you can just listen. You hear those N1 fans turn, and that's what you hear, that little clink, 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 clink. So the N1 blades actually have a little bit of play in them. We can actually talk in depth about that a little time, but that's what you hear in that tick, 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 because those blades aren't 100% solid in their mounting. There's a little bit of play in there for actually a pretty unique reason, which we'll talk about maybe in a more in-depth stream. Obviously, the 3D model of this airplane is absolutely awesome. I mean, the 3D modeling on this aircraft is just, it has set the bar. And this airplane has definitely raised the bar, set the bar, whatever you want to call it. And let's go. Let's get into it. I can't talk about it anymore. Let's go. Let's hop into the cockpit, guys. Again, we are completely cold and dark. I'm going to go over this flight. Just like we get to the aircraft, real life, typically the crew will walk down together. So the first officer, you know, it just kind of depends. If he walks into the cockpit first, he'll probably start doing some of his preliminary cockpit flows. And of course, I'm checking outside, make sure that the chocks are on. When I come down the jet bridge, I want to make sure the chocks are on in case I got to release the brake, make sure the air is hooked up, or if it's not hooked up, and then make sure all the flight control surfaces are in the correct position. I'll come down into the cockpit, and we can actually open this door here, which is really nice. And I probably should have started the stream from the jet bridge, but this is that FS Dream Team Charlotte. So you come into the cockpit. Depending on who you work for, you might have the aircraft registration here mounted on the door, or it might be on the inside of the cockpit. I'll be checking those. I'll do an exterior or cockpit interior inspection. I'll be checking under all the panels and everything, lifting up the oxygen mask, making sure everything is open. There is a disk storage bin down here somewhere, depending on the airplane. This is a little bit older of a 320 CEO. Some of the Neos have some new SSD drive storage bins down here. Most of them will these older planes that have the what is it, like the regular flash drive. Yeah, I think this is like an old school flash drive data loading thing, but you'll have extra disk and everything in here. So just checking sure, make sure this is all clean. This is funny right here. So this glove, somebody mentioned this in one of the other live streams. This is actually a fire protection glove, and or like a heat resistant glove, I should say. So if you're battling a fire or whatever, you put these on. Now a lot of guys will actually prop this up with the middle finger out, just as kind of like a joke. So it's not uncommon you walk into the cockpit and you're getting flipped off by the fire protection glove, or heat resistant glove, I should say. I don't even know what it's called, but this is actually a mandatory item. You have to have this on the aircraft, so it is part of our checks. Good to see that. This, I can't believe this is actually modeled here in the cockpit. I mean, I guess I can because it's Phoenix. This is a very special portion of the cockpit here, this little this vent sensor. This actually is the thermostat probe for the cockpit. So when you're trying to set the cockpit temperature, this is where you're getting that temperature reading from. So if the sun is coming in like at a perfect angle and just blasting this thing, the cockpit will read that it's hotter than it actually is, and then you'll be like, why am I so cold in here? Because it's reading that the temperature is coming from right here. And conversely, it's true. If it's blocked and it's cold, you know, it's not showing any sun, maybe you have something in front of it, then it could get warm in the cockpit. But that's just one of the little auto thermostats. Anyway, do all our pre-flight checks. Also, come back over here behind the captain's seat here. You've got your rain repellent up here. It's in the green band, just barely. That's exactly what it looks like. And this is where we keep our extra paper for the printer, a couple other safety items, and tough gutters or whatever, basically restraints, all that stuff. We keep that in here, make sure that's all checked. And a little hat rack there if you need to. Coat rack, all the good stuff. You'd have some more fire protection equipment down here. You'd also have a crash axe, a little coffee pot there. That's awesome. Jump seater headset number 2. This is for the number 2 ACM, which would be here. The number 1 ACM is actually this jump seat here, which does fold out. We'll get to that in flight. And his headset jack is actually programmed over there.
Ahead.
So
look up.
All right. That's just the first minute of walking into the cockpit. I just kind of looked around. I was like, I'm just going to kind of go around. I'm looking at everything. I'm like, wow, we are raising the bar here.
Spare change, lol. Looking forward to the professional series.
Thank you so much, man, for that $5 dono, man. Bank angle check. Right at you, man. Appreciate that $5 super chat, or $5 dono, I should say. But yes, if you guys know, this channel actually started on the Airbus Professional Series. I started it over 3 years ago. I made a video series of A to B flying in the Airbus, how to set it up, how we do it, how I do it here in the U.S. as a captain, and our procedures a little bit. Kind of show you some real-world procedures that you could take home and help emulate real-world flying into your sim experience. And I'm going to revamp that entire series with this aircraft in Microsoft Flight Sim. So if you are not so much a live stream fan, you want to see some more recorded content, that will be coming at you very soon. All right, we need to get this airplane. Fired up. I know I'm not paying too much attention to chat right now, but I need to get this airplane up and running. This is a release candidate version, Mezzo. I don't know if it is the final release candidate. Remember, this is a release candidate. Could it change possibly before it's released? It absolutely could change. But we're gonna just we're gonna leave it at that for now. And I have no information on release date anyway, so. Don't even bother asking. They have Airbus in America? Max, yeah, we got airlines that have more Airbuses than most countries do. I think American's the largest Airbus operator per airline, like out there. There's a ton of Airbuses in the U.S., ton of them. All right, here we go. Let's go up to the overhead. First thing I'm looking for here is 25.6 volts and greater. So we got 26.1, 27.5. That's good. We'll hit battery 1. You'll notice the off light will not be powered unless I have power to the aircraft. So with battery 1 on, we can now power the off light, telling me that battery 2 is off, and I'll press battery 2. All right, so now we got the batteries online. I think, fun fact, I think you can wait up to 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. That seems like a long time, but I remember reading it said up to 30 minutes before doing an APU start on the batteries.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
Show us the jump seat.
We'll get to the jump seat in a minute, man. Bank angle check right back at you, man. Appreciate the $5 dono, man. So once we have that battery's on, we're either going to do things. We're either going to turn the APU on, or we're going to turn on external power. We have external power hooked up, so we're going to do that. It's the most efficient thing. External power comes on, the aircraft's going to boot up. Look at how the screens are flickering, and they're actually powering up in the proper sequence. So they're not just randomly all coming on in a sequence. They're actually powering up how the airplane should power up. While this happens in real life, I kind of pause my flow and I just double check and make sure my ND brightness is up. This is looks like one of them is. Oh no, they both work. I had the little X there. So there's 2 knobs right here on this ND brightness knob. This is something that can be overlooked if you've got to be careful. So the smaller knob actually controls the ND itself. The big knob controls the weather display or the terrain display behind it. So you got to be careful that you don't have just the brightness up on the ND and not the weather or the terrain display, because then you could theoretically not see terrain even if you have the terrain on ND or weather. So make sure you got them both at the proper location. Just kind of a little gotcha there. You want to make sure they're both in the bright position there. While the airplane continues to boot up, you hear the bells. It's the FWC, flight warning computer. Everything's coming online. I just make sure all my integral lighting is set the way I want it. I don't need a floodlight today, so I'll turn that off. Integral lighting, we'll keep it on for now. We'll go ahead and turn on the integral lighting. It just makes it a little bit easier to read on stream. I'll turn down this floodlight here. We don't need that. We don't need to waste the bulbs there on that. I'll come up to the overhead as well, and I'll just overhead light. I don't really need it, so we'll go ahead and turn that off today. And dome light is off. All right, now that is powered up, I'm going to come over here to the EFB real quick. This EFB is...
Bank angle. Bank angle.
When is the release date?
Thank you, Captain McGee, for the $10 dono, man. I might have to pause all the alerts here, just because we're getting quite a few of them. Give me a second. Bank angle check right back at Captain McGee. Thank you so much, man. I have no idea when the release date is. That is dependent upon FENIX and when they feel that the aircraft is ready to go. But I feel like it should be pretty close. All right, let me go back to the main EFB page here. Nope. Nope. There we go. Import from Simbrief. What I was going to say about this EFB This is the best EFB, so we're 23 minutes. Look, auto just pulls it from Simbrief. Here we are, Cactus 357, Charlotte LaGuardia, 23 minutes. We're going to import that. Yes, re-import from Simbrief. This is the best EFB I have ever used, not only in just modern sim, this is the best EFB I've ever used, period, in any sim platform. And I was messing around with it just a few minutes ago, just kind of looking at it, and I was thinking, man, this is so intuitive, or just, I don't know, I felt like, man, a pilot had to put this together, because it's basically everywhere I would want something, that's where it is. And it turns out that I believe Katie Pilot, she is a real-world Airbus pilot as well, and she's the one that designed the EFB, so it makes total sense, because it's the best EFB I've ever used, hands down. All right, that's good. We don't need any stairs. We'll go ahead and open the forward and aft cargo door. We don't need any bulk cargo. That is good. And mass and balance, let's pull that up, planned. We'll go ahead and begin loading the aircraft. Real time, 27 minutes. We'll do 9 minutes, how's that? We'll do a fast time, just because I got to talking there. We'll do fast time, we'll go ahead and start boarding. Aviator Trav, you're right. FENIX did not compromise with anything on this aircraft. They absolutely did not. So we'll go ahead and continue my flow here. We got sidetracked on that, but external power is on the aircraft now. Now I'm going to go up, do my captain flow. So you've got 3 main panels. So you got the captain's overhead, you got the center overhead, and then you got the first officer overhead. And it's split into those 3 main sections. So from the captain's seat, we're just going to go bottom to top all the way up. So cruise supply oxygen, we want to turn that on. Ground control, we're going to turn that on. That is the CVR. Basically recording all the cockpit activity and the checklist before engine start. If you don't have this push button on, it'll happen after engine start. But you know, if something were to happen, NTSB, whatever, they want to know what was said. Make sure you're doing checklists before you actually got the engine started. Now, we've got to be careful. Sometimes during transient power, like say maybe the external power drops out and you go onto your APU power, or even just manually switching over power sources, there is a tendency for this to drop off, and you want to make sure you reset it. The Neos are particularly bad about that. Some Neos, it's almost 100, not 100%, like a 99% chance when you do a power swap, your ground control CVR will come off. So always checking that up there. That is on. We'll do a CVR test. Hear that? So we're just checking to make sure that the CVR is functional. We got 2 fault lights in the Jip Whiz. This is normal. I talked about this a little bit on my previous stream. Basically, the E part of Jip Whiz, or enhanced part of Jip Whiz, needs position initialization. It needs to know where the aircraft is to build the terrain database. So if you don't know where you are, if you're not aligned, you're going to have a fault light there, which is normal. Continuing up the captain side, we're going to go ahead and put this into the captain position. That means we don't want the purser or flight attendants to accidentally do an uncommanded evacuation. We leave that in the captain position for us. We're going to go ahead and get our ADIRS line here. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3. Airbus used to recommend that you waited for each individual on-bat light to illuminate and extinguish. Now you can just wait for the single on-bat to extinguish. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the status mode so you can kind of keep track of what it's got here. So we got 8 minutes on the alignment. That's good. That's going to go ahead and do its thing. All right. Now, continuing with the flow, we're looking at the overhead here. We get our lights. That's off. I'm going to be flying the aircraft today, so we're going to put it in position 1. Everything else is off. Seatbelts off. No smoking into the auto position. Arm the emergency exit lights. Overhead lighting, we already looked at that when the airplane was powering up. That's good. Cabin pressurization, make sure this is in auto. Just double check here. Landing field elevation, make that an auto. There's actually 3 different subsystems working here. You can have auto, you can have semi-auto, and then you can have full manual control of the cabin pressurization. That'll come on a later video, but essentially we're in auto right now. Everything is working normally. Pack flow, everything, these are faulted out. There's no, obviously the engines aren't running. That's good. Everything looks good here. We'll keep those normal. It is hot here in the in Charlotte. You know, it's going to get warmed up. We like to bring that down once we get APU air on. That's kind of normal position for those switches. These are actually not temperature control knobs. What these do is they give the flight attendants a range of temperature that they can control in the cabin from their FAP, or the flight attendant panel.
Subscriber ahead. Look.
Thanks for the new subscribers, man. Appreciate it. Let me do this. I'm just going to go ahead and mute the alert box today. So I'm going to mute the alert box. Alert box is muted. But thank you so much for the new subscribers, guys. I do want to get through this because, like I said, we're on kind of a time schedule, kind of a time crunch today. But Alert box is modded or muted. I'll just say this right now. Thank you guys so much for the subscriptions and the donos and the super chats. As soon as the aircraft's ready to go, I'll be much more interactive with you guys. I'll be answering some of your questions, but let's go ahead and continue getting the aircraft set up. Electrical panel, we looked at that previously during our startup. Everything is fine here. Let's go ahead and get our left tank pumps on. There is one more thing we got to do with the electric panel, which I'll get to in a second. Engine fire test 1. Now we're looking down here. We're looking for the ECAM, and then I can't bring my mouse down, but you're looking for the fire light in the throttle quadrant as well. So you're checking for multiple things here. 1, 2, and then either the first officer will do the APU fire test if we're going to fire it up, or I'll just do it. So 1, 2, 3, that is good. Up the right-hand side, everything else looks good. We got cargo ventilation, cargo smoke, all lights out on this page. PA should be out and illuminated here. So this is one that you always want to check. Sometimes you get a jump seater in here, they turn this off. But the reason we want the PA knob out, which means it's on and illuminated here, is that the flight attendant announcements or the passenger announcements, we want them recorded on the CVR. So this is why this knob needs to be out during flight. That's a normal position for that switch. All right, audio switching is normal, and you can go all the way up to the maintenance panel. Make sure you're basically lights out here. Everything looks good. Now, real quick on the electrical page, we see right here we've got our batteries 26 27 volts with 0 amps. So we're going to do a battery test here. What we do, we're actually going to come up and we're going to turn both batteries off. You can see here that the batteries are now in the off position, and then we're going to turn them back on, and we want to see that we have less than 60 amps within 10 seconds. This is a battery charge test. We want to make sure that this is less than 60 amps and decreasing within 10 seconds. So this is actually pretty high. It's pretty high here. We might even be getting close to yeah, so batteries need to be charged, essentially, according to this test. We got company message, we got all kinds of things going on. So I'm going to leave that electrical page up. Make sure I did turn them both on. They are both on. Cool. All right, continuing on. FMGC. Aircraft position invalid. Let's go ahead and get everything aligned here. We're going from Charlotte CLT to LaGuardia. Insert. He's going to forget the wedding. Oh, man, I hope not. I got an alarm set just in case. All right, we're Cactus 357. We do have an alternate of Philadelphia today, so we're going to throw that in there. We're going cost index 99 because we're up against the clock. Cruise altitude is 350. IRS and it, align on ref. We'll confirm the alignment. That's going to go ahead and get the aircraft completely aligned. Now, back in the McDo, Atsu, had a message here. AOC received messages. We got a preliminary load sheet. Basically 14. Let's see, max 0 fuel, 31 max takeoff, potable water 10 for 10. Basically checking all of this stuff here. Fuel and tanks 15.4. We'll go ahead and accept that. That looks good. Return. Flight plan. Now I'm pretty sure I haven't even really gotten into the data link status just yet. We could have just done it this way. We're gonna go this way. This will load it up and make it a little bit easier. There we go. There we are. Charlotte LaGuardia. Boom. So now back here, did it pull it? It didn't pull it because I already did it manually. So oh well. We'll just do it. We'll do it manually. Not a big deal. Should have done that first. Let's go ahead and get this. Let's go ahead and get this in the box here. Charlotte, Barney 4, Raleigh J55, Hopewell. Let's go ahead and pull up the Navigraph charts. And a route, loading map. This is the route page. Import from SimBrief. Pull it in. There we go. We'll go Charlotte. We're going to go ground charts, and the 10.9 page is what we're looking for. Boarding complete. Wow, we're behind. Boarding's complete. They're already pulling the jet bridge. We haven't even started the APU. That's all right. I'm going to anticipate a 1.8 left out of here, so let's go ahead and just load this up. Departure. That doesn't sound right. Yeah, 1.8 left. And I'm going to go ahead and, well, screw it. I know boarding's complete. We're going to be laid off blocks. That's all right. 1.8 left. Bar me 4. Raleigh-Durham transition. Insert that. Scroll down. We're going to pick Raleigh. We're going to select the airway off Raleigh. We're taking J55 to Hopewell. And yeah, that's Hotel Papa Whiskey. Oops. That's set. Insert that all the way down there into Hopewell. That is good. From there, we're going to pick up hubs. HUBBS. That is set. And Patuxent, which is Papa X-Ray Tango. Add J20, man. Thank you for the continued support, man. I'm looking forward to this flight. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've done one landing and one takeoff. After Patuxent, Corey 4 into LaGuardia. I'm not sure what they're landing. Let's just say we're going to do the ILS 4. I don't know if we're going to get it yet, but we're going to just load it up right now. Corey 4 off of Patuxent. Insert. Boom. All right, that is set. We're scrambling here. Is this? It is model. Of course it's model. Let's do a quick secondary here. We're departing Charlotte. So the secondary flight plan in real life is good for several different things. Most common for departure, it's good for an engine out or emergency return. So that's how we set it up here. We basically do a secondary. We just do a basic return. I'm coming right back to 18 left, and I'm going to go right here, secondary perf data, scroll it all the way over. And I'm just going to put 200 in the DH there. Oops, that's 20, sorry. 200 in the DH. And I'm going to zero the winds out unless they were really unfavorable, then I would do that. Temperature off the ECAM right now, it's 27 degrees and it's only 10:30 in the morning. It's going to be a hot one today. Current altimeter, I already said it was 2988. So let's go 2988 in the box. That is set. That's our secondary. RadNav page, nothing to hard tune. Initialization page B. This is where we got to get our zero fuel weight and zero fuel weight CG. I didn't think we could do that. So let's see. Block fuel 15.4. We're going to put 15.4 in the box. That is set. Now we're going to get our other mass and balance. Zero fuel weight is 133.9 and a gross weight CG or max the max CG is 29.4. So 133.9 and 29.4. So 133.9 and 29.4, 27 doesn't matter. So there should be 3 boxes there. I noticed that there was only 2. I think that might have been like from the kg to pound conversion. In the real aircraft, you do have 3 amber boxes there. Again, I think that's just because they're used to kg and they only have 2 digits. But for us in pounds, we do it that way. And you can see here we actually are getting low on gas. Alternate negative 2.6. Why do we have min destination fuel? Taxi out. We got hour 46 extra. Alternate. Let's do 3. There we go. All right, so we got 3. Oh, we got a route reserve in there too. We don't really need that. We can clear that out. Oh, I guess we can't. That's fine. We got 29 minutes extra gas, 3,000 going to the alternate. We got plenty of extra fuel on board. Ready to go. All right. Man, I've been heads down pretty much this entire flight. Sorry, guys. I feel like I'm actually late in the real world now. I'm going to get this on constraint mode. Let's get the APU fired up. You can see our batteries are now are done. Now, theoretically, just theoretically here, there we go. See? Now they're less than 60 amps and decreasing. So batteries are charged now. So that's good. All right, let's go ahead and get the APU fired up here. We're going to press the APU start switch. Used to have to wait for the flap open message depending on the APU. And the updated software now, you don't have to wait for that. Long John Silvers, what's up, man? Glad I could make a V1 watching from the Cayman Islands. What's up, man? Should get a flap open message here. There it is. Flap open, and we'll go ahead and start the APU. Let's take a listen. Question, does the ice detection light actually model Gustavo? It is, dude. The ice detection light is actually modeled. Good morning, 6 or 60 amps. 60 amps swarm. Getting back to the chat now. Sorry, guys. I was real heads down there. I actually, this is how realistic the airplane is. It made me feel like I'm actually stressed out and we got to get the airplane ready to go, and I totally ignored you guys. I apologize. But you want to have less than 60 amps and decreasing after 10 seconds. You can see the rudder is pushed over. That's normal. Ailerons are drooping. All right, APU is on. What we want to do now is we want to start the chrono. If we can, we want to wait 3 minutes, if you have the time to do it, 3 minutes before you turn the APU bleed on. This will prevent any fumes from entering the cabin, any of that stuff. So we'll get the timer started from there. We'll also disconnect the ground power. Might get a little toasty on here, but that's all right. Let's come over here, and I haven't actually messed with this perf. Is it perf? Departure perf? I have not really messed with this yet. Let's go ahead and calculate. Summary entry room, please check and try again. We'll sync live weather, sync load sheet final, calculate. And here we go to V speeds. So this is something that we really only, I mean, in the US anyway, we do a lot of ACARS perf uplink. So we never, I don't say never, but rarely do we ever manually input V-speeds, takeoff shifts, or anything like that. It typically comes right through the ACARS, and we uplink it. I don't know if that's going to be modeled in the future maybe, or maybe it is modeled and I just haven't figured it out yet. But basically we're doing a flap optimum, force Toga, yes, packs, screw it, let's do packs off. Let's do a pack. So we're gonna rip these engines as hard as they can go. We're gonna change runway 18 left, Charlotte dry, optimum flap, force Toga. Whoever thought of this, 10 for 10. You're my hero. Anti-ice off, packs off. Takeoff weight 148.9 at 29.4. All right, so let's go ahead and calculate that. We have 22, 27, 31. No takeoff shift. Takeoff Toga required flaps 1. So 22, 27, 31. We'll go to the perf page. 122, 127, 131. Trans altitude is 18,000. Thrust reduction, keep it 1,500 feet. 2246 is set. We're doing a flaps 1. Don't need to put the THS number in there. FMS2, that will require you to do that, but I want to see if it goes this way. Without FMS2, which this is not an FMS2 aircraft, flaps 1, you would not get a THS message on departure if you don't set that. So hopefully we'll see how that is. Obviously no flex, no takeoff shift, we're going to full length. That is good. And 2 minutes and 35 seconds, that's close enough to get the APU bleed on. Fueling has been done, so we'll get the seatbelt sign on as well. I'm going to come back here to my jet charts. Sean, where do I find zero fuel weight CG? That's going to be in your perf, and your final load sheet. So real quick, I'll go back to it. Departure perf. When you get your final load sheet, you can sync it to your final load sheet. That will give you the proper numbers for your takeoff. And as far as your preliminary calculations, I think that's maybe what you were asking for. You're going to pull that out of your mass and balance right here. So once you are loaded, aircraft is loaded. We got our fuel, we got our weight of our cargo capacity. You have your zero fuel weight here in pounds for me. This is your zero fuel weight CG, and then this is gross weight and your percent of MAC gross weight CG, so 29.4. And we're obviously within operational limits. I haven't really looked at one of these charts since I actually had to take my ATP the way we do it again here in the States. And most airlines, this is all done via third-party aero data. We send off our final numbers when we get it from the flight attendants or the gate agent, and then we get a perf uplink directly to the McDo, and then we just go uplink takeoff data, and it populates everything here. So, all right. I think we're about ready to finally go. Let's. We got another company message. That's stressing me out here. Atsu, AOC, received messages. Let's see. This is final. Compliance with N2, Cactus 357, Charlotte LaGuardia. Here we go. 138. Oh, looks like we have 162 plus 2. Jeez, fuel and tanks is good. We'll accept that. accept. All right, back to the perf page. We're going out on 18. We need to contact Charlotte Tower, which is 18 to 1. I like the speed at these knobs here. 18 to 1. There we go. Please. 18-1 is up. And let's do a before start check. So come up in the overhead, I check everything, that's good. We still got that on. We'll get the beacon light on. Everything else is good. Boom, 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 that's off and set. Let's go ahead and pull the GPU and the chocks and cones. And let's give Charlotte Ground a call. Charlotte Ground, good afternoon, or good morning. Cactus 357, information Delta, push off of Charlie 13. I think we're on 13.
Yep, 357, Chuck. Tower, good morning. Unfortunately, ramp's on control. Push past discussion, advise attack.
Roger, we'll call you back for taxi. Just 357. All right. Here we go. Windows, doors, and slides. They are closed and armed. Beacon on. Thrust levers idle. Parking brake is on for now. Before start check is complete. Someone said close the cockpit door. I mean, we'll close it. It should have a light there if it's open. Let's see. Let me come up here. Let's do an enunciator test real quick. Enunciator test, again, that's something that would be done. So no enunciator lights here in the cockpit door. That's fine. I actually prefer not to. I don't really ever talk about like cockpit door operation or anything on stream because you don't really need it. All right, push the starts uncontrolled. Let's go. Windows door and slide closed on. Beacon on. Thrust levers idle. Parking brake is on for now. Before start checklist is complete. Let's go. We're going to connect the tug. And guys, I'm using. I got rid of better pushback. So the word on the street, and I've noticed this a little bit with better pushback. Or I'm sorry, not better pushback. Toolbar pushback is, I don't know if it's a memory leak or what, but it does cause issues. And I've heard that there are potential issues with toolbar pushback and the FENIX. So I went ahead and removed it for this flight. You don't even really need it. You got your own pushback here, controllable by your EFB. Also, fly live, which normally populates my my flight status on the top. I heard there's some potential issues with that, so for today's stream, I just turned it off. So you just have maximum visuals, nothing cluttering the screen. And right now, the performance has been pretty good. I'd say it's definitely a little bit heavier than the PMDG, but not much. And we're going to be taking it to LaGuardia, which will be a real good test. All right, they're connected. We're at our own thing. So basically, communications, you'd hear cockpit to ground or ground to cockpit, whoever called who first, and I'd say, yeah, go ahead. He's like, walk around's complete, shocks removed, ready for your call. All right, copy that. Brakes are released. You're clear to push straight back. And here we go. We're on our way. We are 9 minutes late, I think. How realistic is the McDo compared to the FS Labs? I have to do some more digging, but probably. I mean, I haven't done anything that has not been modeled in the McDo yet. So I wonder if I can. I know you can turn it here. Can I go? Is it tail left? Oh, nice. That's tail left. That's cool. We'll just kind of go back at a 45, and then we'll taxi out from here. That looks good. We'll go ahead and stop that. And I like when you hit stop, it's nice and slow. There is FLS, Cam. Cam, there is FLS. You can set this aircraft up. We're going to get into all the configuration options in cruise. So we're gonna dig through the EFB once we get airborne. That's standby. That's in auto. Oh, I never put the squawk code in. It's bad FO over here. Phantom 320. Forgot to put the squawk in. 6301. 6301 is set. We are in standby, auto on, and we also need to set our top altitude 8,000. Jeez, Phantom 320 has been slacking. All right, that's set. All right, and we are ready for. My mouse is starting to give me issues today, which is interesting. I hope that doesn't get worse. Let's go ahead and start it up. So ignition switch to ignition start. Check for bleed pressure, which we have, and we are turning one. I'm going to be quiet. This is the first time I've started engines in this airplane, so Volume's up. I'm going to stop talking. Enjoy the startup sounds. I want to hear them for the first time myself.
And Charlotte Tower, good morning. Delta 922 with you, flight level 220, descending via the Jones to approacher for ILS runway 18 center.
Delta 922 Charlotte Tower, welcome. Looks like you're way outside my airspace. Coming back about 6 miles.
Okay, we'll go. Delta 922.
Wait for that EGT to continue to come all the way up. Little quiet, little quiet. Phantom 320, I didn't know you were in the chat. What's up, man? You hear the pack come back on. I wish they were a tad louder. Let's go ahead and, we're going to 2-engine taxi. Let's go ahead and turn 2. You hear that PTU power up? That squeaking sound was the power transfer unit, PTU. A little bit quieter. Is there any? Is there an option for that? I don't know if there's any. Excuse me. I don't think there's any there. It should be way louder. Yeah, would it be in general? I don't think I have anything messed up in here. Sound. On. Music on. So everything's at 100. So, interesting. I definitely sounded louder on other streams. Interesting. Sounds are all the way up. Sim settings in EFB. These are airframe controls, RA, airline monofall, cabin, units. Nothing really here. That's RA stuff. Cam, you wanted to know where the FLS is. This right here. You can turn this on. I have this configured basically how... this airline used to run it here. And no sounds here. Check headphone simulation in sound settings. In the app, let me see. Nothing there. I'm looking at my FENIX app. I don't think there's anything to change, right? That all looks normal. Screen. I can't change anything there. Sim, sound settings, headphones. Let's double check. Sound, headphone simulation is off. That's off. Everything else is how I've always had it. I haven't changed any sound settings. And again, everything's at 100. Yeah, but the sound settings are, headphone simulation is off. Interesting. His engine sounds are much louder? Really? I don't know where that would be, what it would be from. Turn on spatial. Was that in the sound settings as well? General options, sound. Everything is pretty much all the way up, man. Realistic, Realtek audio control. I don't know. I mean, everything is set the way I normally always have it set. We'll have to dig with it later. XP had his windows open. That's why it was so loud. Oh, he had his windows open. Thanks, Captain Canada. So that would do it. If your windows open, it would definitely be loud. Because outside, it's very loud outside. Very loud outside. So, let's go fly. Let's get out of here. I'm going to put this on the flight plan page. And I'm going to be on the perf page. We're going to do a taxi out here. We're going to pull up our navigraph again. Turn on active spatial sound. You guys, let's see. This is the last time I'll check. Actually, go back. Wrong one. General options. Active spatial sound. So in the sound settings, active spatial sound on. Apply and save. A little bit louder. Oh, okay, there we go. There we go. All right. Maybe that'll have a difference. We'll have to do an engine shutdown. We'll have to do an engine shutdown and see. We are at spot 21, just about. So we're going to pull up to 21 and go. Taxi lights on. Let's do our after start as well. So that's going to go to the arm position. That comes back off. We're going to do flaps 1. Let's do flaps 1 from back here. I feel like I did a flap extension without spatial sound on and it sounded louder. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. That's good. That's set. Transponder's set. And up to the overhead. APU come offline. Let's go. I feel like it sounded better without spatial sound on. So this is the FS Dream Team Charlotte. All right, let's give him a call. Charlotte ground, Cactus 357, spot 21, taxi.
Cactus 357, walk the runway, left and wait via Mike Charlie, verify transponder mode shot.
18 left, Mike Charlie, and we'll turn it on right now for Cactus 357. TRA is on, Mike Charlie. Yeah, I'm going to turn the spatial sound off because it doesn't sound as good with it on, to be honest with you. We're going to turn that back off. That's off. Apply and save. All right, Mike Charlie to 18 left. We're going to come out here and make a left on Mike, left on Charlie all the way to the end. Yeah, see? Listen to the engine now. It's better with spatial sound off unless maybe you're running a full surround sound setup. Hey, Captain, any special settings for the tiller in the Discord? No, Tom, I'm sorry, Scott, I just have it set up to nose wheel tiller axis. That's what I've got set. And you put it on in the options here on your EFB. You do pedal disconnect, and then it works just as it should. And I'll go over that again once we get airborne. We'll dig through the EFB. I have sim sounds and Windows control, and they're all the way up, man. All the way up. Chris Super, tiller handling is 10 for 10, man. 10 for 10. All right, we'll do a little check here on taxi out and do flight controls. Full up, full down, and neutral. Full left, full right, and neutral. I forget what our trim setting was. Phantom didn't set the trim setting, of course. Oh, that's arrival perf. That's the wrong one. Takeoff perf. It's down 0.2, so not much. Now the question is, can I move it with this? Ooh, I can. Alright, down 0.2. That checks. Alright, we're good. Back on center line here. How do you map the tiller? Is it a weird axis hack or something? Right now, I just have it on nose wheel tiller axis, and it seems to pick it up just fine. Super chats, I got the alerts muted right now, just at the gate. I'll get them back on here as soon as we depart. Flight controls check. So here we go. Auto brakes max. Takeoff config checked. Spoilers. I'm having an issue with that arming too. I'll have to double check that. I'm gonna check that. I had it working earlier. So the toggle, like I can't get it. It'll just toggle on and off. Maybe if I do that. There we go. Now it's armed. But you have to kind of toggle it.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
Can you do the rudder flight control check while taxiing? Yeah, so there, I don't know how to bind the pedal disconnect, but if you do that, there you go. Now you can do rudders, but then the rudder won't move on the ECAM, so that's something that I have to look at. I don't know if that's a binding thing or just a limitation of the sim right now. But in real life, how you would do the rudder check on the flight control surfaces is I would hit the flight control disconnect. Well, it's because I use my mouse. I can't stand that. That's a Microsoft thing. When you drag your mouse view, it locks your control.
One quick recycle for me.
Roger that. Should be on now for Cactus 357.
That is, thank you.
So in real life, to do the rudder check, this disconnect button here, you'd press that down, and then I could move the rudders, and you would actually see the rudder deflection on the lower ECAM display. That's how you do the flight control check in real life. And you can see that the pedal disconnect is modeled right there. I haven't been able to find a binding for it, and maybe it's somewhere in some of the settings. But yeah, this airplane does taxi very nice. I will say that. Very nice for the taxiing. The rudder disconnect in the EFB, I have it turned on, I believe. Bluemac. Again, that is another setting option, which I'll show y'all. No, that's not it. I wanted to go to looking for sim settings. Yes. I'm trying to keep my do 3 things at once here. So right here, where is it? Airframe, controls, pedal disconnect on the tiller. I have it bound, so it's on.
Cactus 357 on that note. Flight runway heading. Runway 18 left, clear for takeoff.
18 left, runway heading, clear for takeoff. Cactus 357. All right, runway heading. So we'll pull heading on departure. We are cleared for takeoff. Let's go ahead and light it up, shall we? Strobe lights on. Wing lights on. I've been flying too many Boeings. The switches look like they're in the wrong position now. We're cleared to go. Oh, we're doing a PAX off takeoff too. I gotta turn the PAX off. Should have left the APU on for that. But I want to hear these engines at full Toga with no bleed demand. We're gonna rip them. So taking the runway, we'll go ahead and turn PAX off for takeoff. Remember, this is not the preferred way of doing it. The preferred way of doing it is leaving the APU bleed on. Let the APU take priority. Got a status message there. That's normal because the PAX are off. Brake temperature is below 300 C. We're looking good. We're lined up. Runway heading is 182. .183 is checked. And we're ready to go. You guys ready? Let's do it. I need some yogas in chat. I'm going to just double check all my sounds. System sounds are up. OBS sounds are up. Microsoft Flight Simulator sounds are all the way up. Everything is all the way up.
Subscriber.
Let's do it.
Look up.
Spool them up. 50. Yoga. Oh. Mantoga SRS runway, auto thrust is blue. Thrust set. 100 knots, check. V1, rotate. Positive rate, you're up. Little frame heavy there on the departure. I don't know if it's the airport or not. That is the FS Dream Team Charlotte. And we're at 400 feet. We'll go ahead and select heading. And departure effective 357, 2.3, climb 8,000.
David 357, I might not be departure, but turn my speed 140. So I couldn't get departure cup of coffee if you're getting departure. I want to play.
140 on the heading, get the 357s. Alright, 140 on the heading, there's acceleration altitude. Let's go ahead and get pack 1 on. That's 160 for now, that'll work. We'll go ahead and get pack 1 on. All the way around to 140. Exclamation point specs, we'll give you the specs. That's pack 2, air, associated, flap 0. And let's go ahead and get pack 2 online. I'm going to turn it down a little bit because it's kind of loud now. It was definitely lost some frames there on the takeoff roll. A little bit heavy. Let's take a look at Task Manager. Let's see what's being hit here. CPU is cranking right now. CPU is at 95% usage. Yeah, something is pegging my CPU right now. GPU is only at 35%. FENIX display, FENIX system, 30%. Yeah, it's using it here. Let's go ahead and go autopilot 1 since I'm looking at that. Speed alt star, 748. We got the altitude alert. Remember, that'll only come on when you have your autopilot off. That's good. You may have given us a higher altitude too. Autopilot 1 is on. Did you give us higher for Cactus 357? I forget.
Second Cactus 357.
Did you want us level at 8 here, or did you give us higher?
Unfortunately, the powers that be say I can't do that, but you can resume mode navigation.
Okay, we'll resume mode nav for Cactus 357. Thanks. Alright, we're going to go direct to Meshi, insert that. And we'll just stay level at 8 here for a minute. So yeah, let me double check here. Let's go back to this cam. Let's see what CPU is. Yeah, it's hitting the CPU pretty hard there. 94. It's pretty much locked between 95, 94, 98 now. Move display rendering distance from the FENIX app. Display rendering to GPU. Can I do that in flight? I'm gonna do it. Rip. I have a 3090 setting. Wow. Okay guys, check this out. So I just changed the rendering from CPU to GPU, and I have a 3090 option. My CPU is now clocking 80%, 72%. GPU is now up to 53%. So definitely took the load off the CPU. That definitely took the load off the CPU. And I think we're definitely clear of this guy's airspace. So let's go ahead and climb up to our cruise altitude now, 350, or else we'll burn all our gas down here. A little bit bumpy down here as well. 350, is that what we had set? Let's go back to our prog page, perf page. 350 is set. We're climbing up. Oh yeah, much better. Much better. Okay, that's good to know. See, I haven't messed with the FENIX app yet, so I wonder if I could share this. I can't pull it up on screen. But when you download the FENIX, you get a FENIX app that basically gives you a streamer mode, ACARS code, your sim brief ID, all the stuff, your livery manager. Think of it like the PMDG Ops Center. It's basically FENIX's Ops Center, the FENIX Ops Center. Think of it that way. And there's an option for render displays, and by default, the rendering of the displays is on the CPU, and my CPU is absolutely cooking. Now, there's 10,000. We'll go ahead and turn the lights off. Now with the CPU display switched to NVIDIA, there's actually a 3090 option, which is what I just selected, and it's much better. Wing light off, everything else looks good on there. We'll give them a forward ding here. Let them know that we went through 10,000 feet, lights are off. And we're gonna go, let's go direct Raleigh. Let's give ourselves a little direct here. Direct to Raleigh, insert. And now we're on our way. Climbing a 340. Much better. Much, much better. Do you have to run the FENIX app at the same time? Yes, you do. You run the app at the same time. Is this the first add-on that is able to give you the option where you want to render? I've never seen it before, but that made a... Look at it. It's butter now. I mean, it's straight butter right now. Yeah, there's a FENIX app, Flight Force. FENIX app. And it automatically overclocks to my CPU is at 4.68. So my CPU is running at 4.68 right now. Gigahertz. There you go. But yeah, that definitely made a difference. We'll see how it looks when we get to LaGuardia as well, because LaGuardia should be a good one. We got the LDEV brick on here. That's not very common. I'm going to turn that off. That's going to be an option. So back to, is it airframe? No, airline. Here we go. Airline modifiable information. LDEV, we're going to turn that off. Ice detection, we're going to turn that off. That's pretty rare you see ice detection on the Airbus. It's an option from the factory, but I'm trying to think if I've flown. I think I might have flown a few that have it, that we picked up from different airlines at my operator. But generally speaking, the majority of Airbuses that I've flown do not have the ice detection option installed. So I removed that. AC Essential Auto Switching, that should be on. And there's your FLS system. Auto TCAS, yellow electric hydraulic steering, that's normal. Some of the older aircraft didn't have that. Everything else looks good there. All right, we're climbing out now. Now the skipper's opinion about the sound so far. Gustavo, I'm a little bit disappointed in the startup sounds. I'll give you that much. I don't know if it was, maybe there's something that I've done. So again, I'm going to be doing more testing. This is only my second flight with this airplane, and the first time I did the flight, I started in with engines running. So I'm going to double check all of my settings and make sure it's not something that I'm doing. But the engine start sounds were a little disappointing, I would say that. A little disappointing on the engine start sounds. Right now, I mean, it seems to be pretty good. It seems to be like, this is a very believable sound in the cockpit right now. You got a little bit of that hum and the buzz in the background, mostly wind noise. I mean, we're climbing out at 340 knots right now. So climbing out at 340, you're going to be hearing a lot of wind noise, especially at 15,000 feet. Right now, things are looking good. Nav and go-around option. So basically, that will automatically nav you up in go-around mode. That's just a software option that can be programmed in the McDo depending on which airplane you're flying or what your operator requires. And on a go-around, it'll either go into nav track or just basically track mode, or it'll automatically start navving. So it just depends on how the operator has it set up and how you train for it. I cannot enlarge the screen, Stuart. The OAT probe is your ice detector. No, actually, you do have an ice detector switch. So the ice detection on the Airbus. So basically, we have what's called representative surface on the Airbus. I'm going to turn the sim down a little bit more. That's a little too far. So representative surface on the Airbus, you have an ice probe up here, which at night you can actually turn the light on, and I did see somebody showed me this. Check this out. Ice light, boom, on. And now you can't see it because it's daytime, but this lights up. All this is, it's just a piece of plastic with a light bulb in it, and it's what we call a representative surface. If you see ice accumulating on this probe, then you know you're going to be you're in icing conditions and you're actively collecting ice. Now, again, at night you can turn the ice light on. In most of the airplanes, it's pretty terrible. It's so dim you can't see it anyway. You just put a flashlight on it and see. Now, you can also use the windshield wipers as a representative surface. If you see ice accumulating on the wiper blades down here or anywhere on the window frames, then you know you have active icing conditions and you're picking up ice. So there are options, like I said, for automatic ice detection, and they will actually say ice detected on the ECAM if you pick it up. And I'm pretty sure I might have flown maybe a handful of airplanes that have had that. Again, I think depending on where you work, it's not standard at our operator that we have ice detect or auto ice detect, but sometimes when you pick up airplanes from different companies, they're not fully configured the way your company wants them, and you have some optional equipment. That's one of them. What do we got here? Oh, nav barrel ref disagree. Oh, because it's not set. Oh, come on, Phantom 320. You got to pull yours to standard. All right, so that's set. We're all synced up now. You can pop out the screens? Oh, left alt click. Oh, yeah, but you guys can't see them then. That's the thing. Because it's a different window. I'd have to do a different window source. But honestly, they can actually read them pretty nice. Pretty clear screens here. When will you make a setup review? Probably, I mean, this weekend, man, you're going to be seeing a lot of content coming from me. Again, Friday, what we're going to do is we're going to absolutely take this airplane apart. We're going to take it up, and we're just going to beat it up. We're going to do a V1 cut. We're going to do aborted takeoffs. We're going to pull some circuit breakers on it. I want to see just how far the simulation goes, because I think that's, I mean, probably 98% of simmers will not do anything. Oh, we're definitely out of tower range. But 98% of simmers probably aren't going to be forcing the aircraft into direct or alternate law. But for those of us that might want to use it as a training tool or a recurrent tool, which I'm going to recurrent here next month, then you know, we want to actually go into it a little bit further. We want to go into direct law, alternate law, do some emergency scenarios. So we're going to find out, for my own knowledge, is just how far it goes. But that'll be tomorrow. FO said no STDs for me, not today. STDs for you and me and one for the FO. Yep. Yeah, you can definitely pull some breakers. Did you get new rudder pedals, Flight Force? I do have the MFG Crosswind rudder pedals now. Man, these wing textures though are outstanding. Outstanding wing textures. Like, you know, when I said it on, I think it was my PMDG stream in Rio. We did an approach to Rio, and I said that FENIX better bring it with the texturing, because I thought at that point PMDG is the best one out there as far as wing textures and window. This is the next level. This is, in my opinion, I think this is actually even superior to that. The texturing on this wing, this looks like a real Airbus. I mean, I feel like I'm in a real Airbus, and the window is so nicely modeled. Look at this. You even have those little teeny squares. Everybody knows what the texture is. I can almost feel this just looking at it. When you're glued to the window, looking out the window, especially as a kid, I remember just being obsessed with window seats and looking out the window, and it brings me right back there. So outstanding job on the textures all throughout the entire airplane, not just the wing, the cabin, the cockpit. Outstanding texture work. Was it easy to set wing views? Chris Stuper, it was very easy, and let me show you guys. So In the PMDG, and hold on, I want to check our climb performance here. So this is good. We're only doing about 1,200 feet per minute because we're also at 340 knots, and we are 146,000 pounds, so we're not super light. And she is struggling a tad to climb. Now, I do think the IAEs climb just a bit better, but that just could be because I'm biased. But I'm going to do a little manual speed here. We're going to pull it back, 330. Give ourselves a little bit more climb performance here. We're going to take it up to 350. But for setting window views, here we go. Awesome. I hate how some developers lock you in the cockpit. You are not locked in this cockpit. All you got to do is come out here. We've got the door open. You can open and close the door. We'll get back and do a jump seat situation here when we get up to cruise. And you can just walk right through into the cabin, and then you just go ahead and set your views. Now, I highly recommend that you watch XP72's wing view video. That's on !wing view if you want to see that video. And he walks you through how to set your wing views like we have them in X-Plane 11. That's where a lot of us are coming from. So as long as you get your binding set, you do not need to do the step of where he modifies the CFG file. You can walk straight into the cabin and set your wing views. So awesome point from FENIX by allowing you to just walk through the cockpit door. I always hated it when developers lock you in the cockpit. I don't know why they do that, especially if it's all the way modeled. I mean, you're not really saving performance just because you can't see it, right? It's already there. So check that video out. Remember, you don't have to do the CFG edit. Just set your bindings, and it's very easy to set wing views then at that point. Jeremy Harvey says the plastic is actually discolored like it would be in real life. I know, Jeremy, I know. Absolutely. Amir said you could put the displays on your iGPU to squeeze more frames. Yes, I did that. So if you just tuned in now, I originally had displays on CPU, and I did not prefer that. I changed it to the NVIDIA 3090 setting, and it is much better now. CPU is still working hard, but the GPU has picked up a ton of the load. So it's much better. Definitely much better now. We're buttery smooth. The real test will be once we go in, start our descent into LaGuardia, New York. It's going to be, you want to do a stress test. We'll see how the performance is. But on departure, my performance was really poor there. And I think that's a combination of the airport, and I had it on CPU, which was not good. I needed to switch it to GPU. So we'll have to revisit that takeoff. Crossover altitude and the sun shield visors also work. So what he's referring to is crossover altitude automatically switches to Mach. Will it automatically switch to Mach? I don't know. We'll see. So you see here we're right on the red line. Now, the older airplanes used to have this. This used to get you. This used to be a bite. You'd actually start overspeed. I think we're going to overspeed here. In the more modern Airbus now, if you leave this in indicated, it will automatically switch to Mach. Let's see. I think we're going to trigger an overspeed. Let's just let it go. I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens. Apologize for the noise in the background. We're going over our remodel. As we get higher, that VNE is going to come down. We're doing 825. We're cooking. Jeez. Oh, so now it's limiting the speed. Interesting. So you can see what's happening is it's actually limiting the speed here as it should, 8.2 Mach. You can see my selected speed of 330. All right, so I mean it's doing it correctly. The only thing that is different would be this would automatically change to Mach, and then I would go. It would be wherever that associated Mach is. So I'm gonna dial it back to 7.9. We didn't overspeed. We held it right at the limit, 8.2 Mach. It shouldn't command anything more than 8.2 Mach, so that's good to see that working. How's our climb out here? Just ASAP. There we go. Let's step through here. Hydraulics page looks good. 3,000 PSI across the board. The green is a little bit lower. That's because the wheels are in the well. That's normal. Checking everything else out here. Looks good. Fuel used. Fuel flow in the climb out seems okay. Temperatures are good. Door page. So there's only one item on the ECAM systems page that will that you can check that won't give you an ECAM, and that's the cockpit oxygen. So pretty much if anything else goes wrong, like let's say you have a what's a good example? So like something in the hydraulics, like let's say you have a low hydraulic pressure, that's going to populate an ECAM, or if you have a fuel imbalance, that will populate an ECAM. The only thing that won't populate an ECAM is on the door page, the cockpit oxygen. That could actually go below required oxygen levels, and you will not get an ECAM memo for that. So that's just kind of one of those check ride questions they ask you, what will get you on the ECAM if you won't populate ECAM, and that's the cockpit oxygen. So that looks good. Wheel temps are looking good. They should be nice and cool. We didn't really use any brakes. Pitch trim, everything else looks good there. All right, so our systems check looks good so far. We got about 2,000 feet to level off. The seatbelt signs actually work in the cabin? I know, absolutely. What is the procedure when there is a bank discrepancy? What do you mean bank discrepancy? The computer doesn't need oxygen, so it doesn't care, exactly. If you fly with an A320, can you fly with a 321? Yes, you can. Same type rating. Just differences course. There's just a differences course. It's been there for a while, Aaron. It's been there for a while, man. So there is an option, I believe. Isn't there an option to toggle cabin? I'm curious as we're getting ready to go into the into cruise flight here. Cabin visibility. But now, do we have? Oh, it still saves your views. That's cool. Let me see if that. I want to see if that makes a difference at all in any of the performance. It lowered the CPU load even further. I notice when I switch views, my CPUs come up pretty good. I have random faults activated. Of course, man. I do have random faults activated. All right, 1,000 to level off. Let's see how it handles the level off here. Circuit breakers can be pulled. Yes, some of them can. If your Trev says, okay, V1, you finally done it. I'm getting Microsoft and this aircraft. I've been on the holdout until now. I don't think you need to be on the holdout any longer, man. This airplane, that's kind of what I want to talk about right now as we level off here. So we're leveling off at 350, just a little bit of light chop. Not bad. So let's get the seatbelt sign off. Seatbelt sign come off. Look at this little detail here real quick. So you see all these lights, how they're not straight? This drives me nuts in the real airplane, and it probably drive me nuts here eventually. But this is a detail that you really can't understand or know unless you actively have an airplane that you're modeling after, because what happens is after the use of these switches, some of them get twisted and they're not perfectly straight. Now you can go up here and twist them back. I always go up there and twist them back, and you can make them nice and straight again, but they kind of pivot. They're not like locked in there. So especially the older airplanes, the more use on the switch, more uses on the switch that you get, they get a little bit out of line. And some guys leave them out of line, but I always go up there. I don't think I'd consider myself OCD or anything like that, but I always have to straighten out the lights. It drives me nuts when I see crooked, especially the landing lights. These ones are notorious for getting bad. These not so much, just because of the position or the shape of the switch, but these flat ones here, you go up there and you push it a little bit on one side. Now, I wish there was an option to like mouse wheel scroll these to make them straight. That would be pretty cool. I mean, I don't know how much coding you need to do that, and it's completely unnecessary, but if you could just kind of mouse wheel these to get them nice and straight again, that'd be funny. But yeah, that's a little detail. I saw that. I'm just like, man, I don't think I've ever seen that in any other Airbus sim. All right, so set manage speed. That's because we're in cruise. We'll go ahead and set that. That's a proper display there. Somebody actually commented on the shorts video I posted for members. All right, let me go ahead and get that back on, get the alert box back on in case we need it. All right, so we're level 350. Everything's looking good. Makes you nervous to look at them. Yeah, the frames definitely look much better when I go. Yeah, it's man, good texturing, good texturing. All right, so where did this airplane stack up? This is one that everyone's asking, like, is it better than the PMG? Is it better than the FS Labs? Oh, is it fair to compare sims? Is it not fair to compare sims? Here's what I'm going to say as of today. Now remember, this is only my second flight. I got a lot more. There's a lot more to this airplane that we're not really getting to. I just wanted to do a nice A to B flight today. But so far, in everything simulation, we always have a benchmark, right? And pretty much in anything, whether it's, for example, fishing. I'm a big fisherman, right? So there's always a benchmark company that has the best products. And then if you do something else, there's a benchmark product. In flight sim, the benchmark product for simulation and depth for the longest time, going all the way back to like FSX, was PMDG. You know, whenever an airplane came out, is it PMDG level, or is it more or less study level than PMDG? You know, then FS Labs rolls around, and they rivaled that. You know, is FS Labs more than PMDG, or no, PMDG more? And it was a rival. It was definitely in the discussion, and you can decide which one you thought was better, more in depth on the P3D platform or the FSX platform. Guys, with the FENIX here, just the couple hours I've had it so far, from this point forward, everything is going to be compared to the FENIX. It's not going to be, is it as in-depth as FS Labs? Is it in-depth as Flight Factor, TOLUS? Is it in-depth as the PMDG? No, it's going to be any new airplane that hits this simulator is going to be, hey, is it as simulated as the FENIX? Or how is it in regards, how in-depth is it compared to the FENIX? This is a new benchmark. This is a new benchmark in flight simulation. There's no doubt about it. Now, the product is not perfect, and I don't think anybody is claiming that it's perfect. Even Amir came out and said that. We got a company message. We'll get that here in a second. There are a couple things I noticed kind of right away, especially watching some streams earlier, is like the eCam displays are a little bit larger than normal. The font, I don't know if because it's stretched or whatever. It's not bad. It caught my eye, and someone who sits in the cockpit for, 1,000 hours a year, essentially, you'll pick up on little things like that. That was kind of one of the first things I noticed, is these N1s looked a little bit big. But that's such a small detail, and it actually doesn't bother me, because in the sim, it's much harder to read your NDs. I don't care how nice they are, how bright they are, whatever. It's actually kind of hard to read them. And a lot of times in X-Plane, I would always pop out my PFD or ND, right? So you guys could see it, so I could see it better on approach. I'd pop it out, just made it look better. Because naturally, from a 3D cockpit or a virtual cockpit, sometimes it's kind of hard to actually see the information on the display. So because it's a little bit bigger, it doesn't bother me. Now, there's, the other thing too that I noticed this on the first stream I watched with the fuel burn. It seemed a little off. It almost looked like Neo fuel burns, and I can see right here, we're 2200. But then when Amir came out and he made that post yesterday about saying that it's, it's a trade-off. You can either have completely abnormal flows in one direction or in the climb out, and then have them normal in cruise, or you couldn't get the best of both. You couldn't get the best across the board. You couldn't have your cake and eat it too. You had to pick one or the other. So they've got it down within, I believe he said, 6% of performance. So, at the end of the day, it's not, you'd rather have more fuel than less fuel, right? At least you better be burning less fuel than normal. But these fuel flows here are actually very, this looks much like a LEAP or a Neo Pratt & Whitney fuel flow, 1,800 to 2,200 pounds an hour in cruise at 8.4. I would expect probably maybe about 2,500 pounds aside here at 350. We are doing 8.0 Mach. So yeah, it's not, by no means is it perfect, but no one said it's perfect. But from what I've dove into so far, and I feel like I'm really only kind of scratching the surface, this airplane is the new bar. Like, it's going to be, hey, what's the percentage of realism compared to the FENIX? That's going to be the name you hear now moving forward with this platform. Yeah, we do have an ETP up there, equal time to P. I didn't know if you put the engine mode selector ignition and don't start the engines, the packs will automatically come back on. Yeah, I think it's, 2 minutes, 120 seconds, or 90 to 120 seconds. That's on the ground, Jeremy. That's 100% true, and I haven't actually tested if that's modeled, but yeah, what he's saying is if you put the ignition start to ignition start on the ground, the packs shut off for engine start, but after, I think it's 2 minutes, they will actually turn back on, and your fuel and your bleeds will be a little bit lower pressure. All right, let's see what this company message is. Let's go McDo menu, Atsu. I love having, I mean, this whole Atsu system is really nice. Cactus Ops. No ADC required. Okay. All right, no ADC required. Cool. ADC delay codes. So I saw someone ask me about this, like putting in delay codes. If you go in and you have to, set a delay code. Very rare do we use ICAO delay codes. What is most common for us is we just go to the free text and then we message a delay option. So it actually kind of be up here, it'd be free text, and then you put in late because we didn't receive the paperwork until pushback, or ground crew didn't have bags, or they're waiting on connecting passengers, and we just kind of type it in manually. But you do have actual ICAO delay codes, which is kind of unbelievable. All right, it is modeled. I figured as much. All right, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, there's a lot more going on here behind the scenes. I think 90 to 98% of us are probably just going to get in and fly A to B, but there's a lot more going on behind the scenes, and we are going to put that to the absolute limit on tomorrow on Friday. So make sure you check back. We're gonna do some serious airbusing, as Flight Deck to Sim calls it, tomorrow. All right, let's go ahead and continue to look around the cockpit here. Oh yeah, so you see with the cabin gone, that's fine. You can close the door, maybe. You can close the door. I guess you can't close the door with the cabin not modeled, but save some frames there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the cabin back on. Oh, you guys want to look outside. We'll leave it off for now. Let's go ahead and turn the sims down, way down. And let's pop outside. Let's take a look. Yes, sir. So the fact that they added the old school cactus livery is awesome. I love seeing that. And there's also I was going to fly American, the new American livery, but then I saw this in there, and they also have the retro cactus livery too, the blue and gray. Yep, this is Cactus 1549, 106 US. This airplane actually is in, what is it, in the museum there in DC? Test flights at Boeing Field, Chris, you know it. Jeff, thank you for the $5 super chat. Sorry, says this on the dono today, but your fault, really excellent. Thin on the dono today, but your fault, really excellent streams. New rig arrives today, so I can go over to FS 2020. Jeff, you're going to absolutely love it, man. Thank you so much for your continued support here on the channel. I am indeed loving this airplane already. I mean, it's an Airbus. Of course I love this airplane. So, looking really good. Looking really good. The texturing and modeling is top notch. We are headed not to the Hudson, hopefully. Jeremy says it's cool that if you use a cross bleed, the FENIX will match the idle speed for both engines. Yeah, that's a good way to get a hot break, Jeremy. So taxiing out, if you got a packing op and you're running cross bleed, we typically don't do it. You can't get away with that here in Vegas or Arizona, Phoenix, Dallas. Even if you got a taxi out and you got high idles, you can't get to the runway with 300C or less. The retro one with the blue body and white text, that is correct, Guru. It is correct. They have that one by default. I almost flew it. I think we'll probably fly that one tomorrow. Bodo, welcome to Private Pilot, sir. Glad to have you on board, man. All right, I kind of want to go over, I want to look at some more cockpit stuff here. So let's go in here, and I'm going to look at the overhead. I wanted to come up here because we said that some circuit breakers are modeled. Jeez, look at this. All right, so there are monitored circuit breakers and non-monitored circuit breakers. The green ones are monitored. The black ones are not monitored. And then the ones on the overhead are all like are mostly all monitored. Now you can see, look at this. We can actually pull some of these. Oh my word! EIS system, ND switching, anti-ice, aircon. Let's just see here. Let's do a. Let's see. Let's see here. I want to pull something that won't make us divert. HP fuel. You don't want to do that. EIU. Let's pull that breaker. Let's see if anything happens. Now, I believe that's unmonitored, right? There we go. But it is on the overhead. So, all right. So you say you're cruising along. Do the 8 cars no comm reset, Phantom, please. Oh man. All right. So you're flying along. This pops up. You don't get a master caution. You just get a little engine 2 fire loop B fault. All right. So looking at it, engine 2 fire loop B fault. We go, okay, clear engine 2. We clear engine 2. In-op system, engine 2 loop B. All right, status, we'll clear status. So what that means is each engine has 2 fire loops. And if they both fail within a certain time frame, that will trigger an engine fire warning. Now, it's common that maybe one just fails over time. You know, they stay in there for a while and they get wore out, you know, from all the use and up and down, all that stuff, and one may just fail on you. If the other one doesn't fail, you're not going to get a fire warning. You can actually dispatch with 1 fire loop in op. So we got a fire loop in op. I'm going to pull up my real world company procedure. I want to see what the next step is. It's probably just crew awareness. So let me pull this up here. I'm going to pull up the procedures for abnormal, and that was engine 2 we failed, right? So engine 2 fire loop B, and that says oh, that's under power plant. There we go. Here we go. Where are you? High vibration. We don't want that one. Oh, fire protection. There we go. Fire loop B. Where is it? There we go. Fire loop B fault. So, engine 1-2 loop A or B fault. Fire detection loop is in op. Fire detection is still provided by the remaining loop. It's a crew awareness. So there's literally nothing we have to do. Now, what you can do, I thought, can I like message somebody? Somebody was saying this is where I need to do my study here. Arrival message, weather, diversion. What's arrival messages? Next flight. I need to inform them we need maintenance. I thought there was a way to do this. Let me go back. McDo. No, Atsu. Diversion. Don't want to do that. Weather request.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
But maybe there's not a free text in there. That's all right. So, but what you would do is you would just say, hey, we got a fire loop B, you need maintenance to meet us on the ground. So, not bad.
Subscriber ahead.
Kill the fuel pumps, you don't need it? Yeah, you don't need it. So, that's a good point, Max. Let's see if we can do a crossfeed. So, we'll go to the fuel page here. We'll do a common procedure. 35. Okay, so we're only 100 pounds out here. So, if you look at our fuel tanks, we got 3510, 3610. Not even 100 pounds now, out of balance. But let's say we want to do a crossfeed. So, what we need to do, since there is no true crossfeed in the Airbus, what we have to do is kind of trick it to pump return fuel to a low side tank. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually turn the low side tank pumps off, which in this case it's only 90 pounds. You wouldn't do this for just 90 pounds, but for the sake of the discussion in the stream here, I'm going to turn the engine 1 pumps off. I'm going to make sure the crossfeed is on and the ignition is on. And what's going to happen is the engine 1 is now naturally going to be taking fuel from the second engine tank because it is pumping more pressure out. This pump, or this tank I should say, with the pumps off, will still provide fuel to the engine by gravity feed and by suction. However, if you have one tank with just gravity feed and the other tank with gravity feed and fuel pumps, it's obviously going to provide more pressure to the system. So with the crossfeed open, naturally it's going to want to suck more fuel from this tank. Now what happens is you're not actually moving fuel into this tank directly. You're actually sucking more fuel to the number one engine. That fuel is now unused because it has more fuel than it really needs, and it's not displayed here on the status page, but what happens is there's a fuel return line, and that fuel, once it goes, it say, oh, the engine doesn't need it, it's going to go on the return line, and that return line is going to drop it into this tank, into the on-side tank. So let's demonstrate that here. We're going to go ahead and do a couple things. First things first, we want to make sure the engine ignition is on, just in case. So just good practice. Engine ignition is on. You can see the ignition there on the upper ECAM. Now we're going to open the crossfeed valve. The crossfeed valve is open, and we want to turn the low side tank pumps off. So that's engine one. Boom, boom. And then what I do, as captain especially, I just pull that down. Hey, we're crossfeeding. So if I see up here, this is my abnormal. If I'm doing anything different, or I'm waiting for a amendment to my flight plan, or I'm waiting for anything that's not normal, I pull this down, and that if I look up and I see this, like, okay, what am I forgetting? I don't want to leave the gate or do something. All right, we'll clear the caution. Fuel left tank pump, 1, 2 low. That's normal. I already just explained that, and now we'll watch the ECAM here. And you'll see eventually this will start to creep up. So left tank gravity feed only, normal. And you can either keep this page up or turn it off, but if you turn it off, you'll probably forget and overshoot, and then you'll have to cross feed back the other way. And cross feed is not really the right word, because this is not a true cross feeding of tanks. We're tricking the Airbus to bring fuel into the low side tank from the fuel return line. So you can see here we're actually within 40 already. Once they get equal, there we go. See how it's burning from this one? It's taking all that fuel because this tank is providing more pressure. And it's going here, hey, I don't need all that extra fuel, and it sends us right back on the return line. So 3440, 3460, I mean, you'll sit here and babysit it. You also have your fuel temperatures on the ECAM. That's cool to see that. All right, we're within 10 pounds. That's close enough. So very important, you go in reverse order. First thing you want to do is get your pumps back on. Once the pumps are back on, let's go ahead and close the crossfeed valve. Amber means the valve is in transit. Green means that it's in a normal position associated with the position sensor. Everything is green. Look, we even overshot it by 10 pounds. That's fine. Ignition back to norm. All right, we need to enter destination data. Someone get me a METAR for LaGuardia, would you? Be so kind. We're going to do 79 and 300 in the descent. I know I did 99, but 80 and 340 is a little bit steep. A little bit steep. Next phase over, and we're going to do... You want the sun visors? Let's do it. How do I hide that? I got to hide that, and then... This is so cool. Somebody showed me a screenshot of this. I mean, this is exactly how it is, especially flying out here on the East Coast early morning. This is our cockpit. Oh, I remember everything's normal now, so I put that back up. There we go. See, look at that. See the definition in the copper lens here? And then without it, it's just kind of blared out. That's very, very true to real life. You can achieve the same with sunglasses, too. You can do a weather request. Let's try it. I totally forgot all about that. AOC, weather request, METAR from the garbage. Let's do that. I want the METAR only, not the TAF. Send that off. And also somebody said do the free text in ATC delay or ATC request.
Bank angle.
Finally seeing you flying Phoenix. Do you have any plans on making Airbus professional series with this great aircraft?
Iksu, thank you so much for the $5 dono, man. Very much appreciative of that. Yes, indeed. I talked about it briefly. We're gonna do a full revamp of the Airbus professional series, man. Full revamp coming at you. Yes, there is a cabin indeed. All right, we don't need the fuel page. Let's get that off. We get our weather back. don't think so. AOC, weather data. Oh, wow. 060 at 6, 4 miles, missed, broken at 729 or 76. So I'm just going to put this in Phantom 320 side here, since I got it up. Altimeter is 29 or 76. Ooh, temperature is 13. A little bit misty in New York today, huh? 060 at 6, so that's perfect. We'll do the ILS 4. Winds are, oh, I said that already. 060 at 6 knots. Cool. And let's pull up our chart. So we're going to go back to Heavy Tab. And let's get out of Charlotte. Let's go LaGuardia. I love this. I know this is not a word, but it should be. Intuitivity. It is so intuitive the way this is laid out. It's awesome. Don't need to listen to that. It is absolutely awesome. All right, Corey 4. We get to descend via Corey at 10,000. So we'll go back to the flight plan page here. We're really close to TOD. Let's dial in 10,000 feet. About 5 miles proper to top of descent. We're going to push it for managed nav or managed descent, which we're right about there now. So let's go ahead and push in. We're in mock descent. We'll get the seatbelt sign back on. Get the cabin warmed up a little bit here. I have that new LaGuardia. It's like the future LaGuardia. So you can see here we've got 10,000 set, but 11 is actually magenta because that is the restriction or the last restriction that it's calculating that it needs to level at. So at Brand, if we look here, Brand at or above 11,000, that's where it wants to make sure we level at, and then as we get closer to Brand, it should switch over to 10,000. So right now the call will be we got 10,000 set, 11 is magenta. That's normal. Last thing we need to do is also get the Raid Man, exactly. I know it's not a real word, but it's such an intuitive layout. I can't say enough good things about it. Approach ILS 4. I guess we can pin it technically. Minimums for us are 283 on the DA, so we're going to come down here. We'll set 283 on the perf. Next phase, Barrow is set, 283. We'll get our LS push buttons on. LS push buttons on. And nothing on the overhead. We'll do manual brakes, full reverse. Any questions? No questions. Let's roll. Andre Henry, thank you so much, man, for the $25 super chat, man. Congrats on 25K cap. Can't wait to get my hands on this baby. You're going to absolutely love it, Andre. I'm telling you. Even tomorrow, I feel like I'm doing this airplane an injustice as is because there's so much I want to do with it. We're good on time. I think when we get to LaGuardia, what we might do is we might do a, maybe we'll do an RTO or something. I'll just load up on the runway. I want to check some stuff, or maybe we'll figure out something to do here. I want to dig deeper into this airplane right now. We're doing okay on time. But thank you again for that super chat, man. Very much appreciated of that. Aaron Hastings says, when the engine mode selector is the ignition start, is it firing the igniters all the time, or just in time they're armed? No, it actually turns them on. They actually start firing. Now, on the ground, if you go to ignition start, it'll just fire off the ignition set, either A or B, depending on which one was used last. Now, if you go back to normal and then go back to ignition start within a certain time frame, it thinks you need more ignition, so it will actually fire both igniters, and you'll see AB on the ignition. Now, in flight, I believe you should get an AB. So if I go to ignition start and I go to the engine status page, no, it's not here. It's not here, but I think you can only see it on the ground where we'll actually display A and B down here where your bleeds are. So I won't do it in flight. In flight, it's just always A and B. All right, so we're on the descent. We're on the bottom of the econ descent window. That's fine. Nice little tailwind, 49 knots. Goodness. Rui, what's up, man, from Portugal? How's the hand flying? Hand flying is good. That's what we'll do. You know what? Since we're good on time, what we'll do is maybe we'll do a quick reposition Or maybe we'll just keep it in LaGuardia and we'll do some hand flying. Actually, you know what? I got a better idea. Let's just do some basic maneuvers at the bottom of the arrival. Is any ATC on? Oh, JFK Tower's online. I think if we go... Let's go back to our arrival. We're on the Corey. I was going to say we should just try a hold outside of Kennedy's airspace. So there's a hold at Bessie. So let's come here. Let's go flight plan. Let's go Bessie. Hold. Computed. 048 right turns. And now you can see it on the ND. So Cactus 357 for metering, I need you to hold as published over Bessie. So hold as published over Bessie. If we zoom in on the approach chart here, or the star, excuse me, it's actually opposite of that. That's interesting. So it should be 224 is the course we want. So we're going to flip that around. We're going to do 224. Oh no, we're going to do left turn, excuse me. Left turns. I don't think I can change it when it's yellow. Revert to computed. Left turns 048 or the 2. Am I looking at that right? 224 outbound. So that would be the 044 inbound. Oh no, here it is. I'm looking at the wrong hold. Bessie 224 left turns. Yeah, which should be the 044. Okay, so maybe just a slight change. We'll just verify that's only 4 degrees. We'll go 044 left turns and legs your discretion. So let's do, oh, I don't know, let's do 10-mile legs. And now if we look at it, there is our hold, and that's the published hold. So we'll go ahead and go insert. And now we're going to enter a hold at Bessie, and then we're going to do some hand flying. But I'm going to continue to come down. I'm going to get off the VNAV profile. Let's go ahead and do an open descent down to, we'll make it 15,000. So I'm just going to pull for open. We're thrust idle, open descent. Let's get some spoid brakes out there. Let's see them deploy. Remember, in a 320 with the autopilot on, you only get half speed brakes. So nice to see them pop up here. Once we level at Bessie, we'll do just some hand flying. We'll keep it in normal law. We'll just do some very basic maneuvers because I myself want to see. I haven't been able to do any maneuvers per se yet. I just did a normal traffic pattern before the stream started. We are flying to LaGuardia, and we're currently holding over Bessie for traffic. How does your Microsoft run so smoothly? Mine runs at 30 FPS. Check out Q8 Pilot's video on Sim Update 9 performance settings. Rainman says, when these aircraft come out of maintenance, do they have to do maintenance check flights before they return to the line? Depending on the level of maintenance. So out of a heavy check, yes. Matt Warren, I didn't miss your super chat there. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Wedding or FENIX stream all day. Tough decisions. Hey, if I wasn't the best man, I would be doing FENIX all day, man. Doing all day. Let's see. Oh, I guess one of our bunnies got out. My wife texts me. This will be $60 US, right? 59 or 60 bucks pretty much USD. Al W, thank you so much, man, for the 25K. Says thanks for all you do. Thank you for your continued support, Al. Why isn't the APU ever represented on the fuel page? That's a good question. Why it's not? I don't know why it's not represented on the fuel page. But let's see here. Yeah, fuel. Because I mean, maybe because it has its own fuel, but yeah. I don't have an answer on why they don't represent it. Maybe because there's nothing that you can do from the cockpit anyway to change the fuel. Like, you can't turn off the APU fuel other than pulling or pushing this APU fire push button up here. There's really no other way to cut fuel to the APU other than this right here. So maybe that's why they don't have it represented, because you can't change it even if you wanted to unless it was an emergency or something like that. All right, so we're entering the hold. This is cool. Let's go ahead and hit our barrel ref. 2974 is set. 2974. And I got it set. Oh, his is set over there. Good job, Phantom. 2974 across the board. I'm going to... I don't want to slow down here. Let's Let's go ahead and select speed 230. And it wants to slow to hold speed 320. We'll do green dot plus 10 at minimum. We're going to come down to 15,000, get a little bit lower. But look at these wing views, man. Goodness. It doesn't have its own fuel guru. Sorry, that's my mistake of saying that. It has its own fuel pump. It pulls its own fuel. There's no, you don't need to turn a fuel pump on for the APU. Give me a second, guys. I just got to text my wife back about our bunny getting out. We're going to do maneuvers here as soon as we level at 14,000. All right, here we go. Set hold speed, that's normal 15,000 feet. Let's go ahead and I'm going to just go ahead and turn the autopilot off. Autopilot's off. We'll go flight director's off. Let's do some maneuvers. Give me the bird. All right, so we're level 115 thou. I'm going to roll in here. Let's just continue this turn. We'll leave the auto thrust on. We're going to roll into a steep turn. So we're going to roll past 33 degrees angle of bank. That's when you have to manually use pitch. Interesting. Brought me back on. Let's reset that. Let's come back over here. Might be because we're a little bit high. So let's check this fly-by-wire out first. So I'm going to roll in. Up to 33 degrees angle of bank. It should hold the bank. Or not necessarily the bank, but it's holding the commanded roll rate. So now we're commanding 0 roll rate, so it's holding. And you can see there on the ND it's holding nicely. Very good. So now if I roll past 33 degrees angle of bank and let go, it should then revert to 33 degrees angle of bank and stop there. You can hear the thrust up. That's good. So I'm going to let go of the side stick. Airplane's rolling back to 33 degrees angle of bank. I can put the cam on for you so you can see I'm not touching it. So that's good. That's good modeling there. Let's go ahead and I just want to see how it flies when I go past 33 degrees. It should get, you have to do a little bit of your own pitch control now, right? Because we're past that window of 33. Seems to be good. You just split the bird on the horizon. It'll keep you level. I don't know why, like it wanted to force me out there for a little bit. That's interesting. Like I'm still holding right stick. That's a little bit too far. All right, so that's definitely, that looks good. Sometimes auto thrust off, it's easier to do it with because you don't have to compensate for the thrust as much. All right, let's do a stall. We're going to go thrust idle. We're going to attempt to stall it here. I'm just curious now. We're going to hold level. We're in normal law. Everything's normal. Auto thrust is off. Autopilot's off. Actually, you know what? Let's do this real quick. I'm going to go spin this around. Oh, come on, baby. Just press and hold. There we go. All right, I'm going to go autopilot on. Push the level off. 0 FPA. All right, autopilot's on. We're holding level. FPA 0 track. Now let's see what happens. The autopilot should disconnect as we enter V Alpha prop. Oh, there we go. That's right. We're in normal on. Disregard that. Yeah, so there we go. Held it. Okay, so now if I pull back, let's see what it does here. Normal law. Alpha floor. We should get max power on the engines here. I'm just going to keep holding back. Yeah, but look, we're not stalling though. You see that? Very good. All right. So now we're in Toga lock. Best way to get out of Toga lock. Match and mash. which I don't have bound, so I gotta do it the other way. I didn't bind my disconnect button. Alright, that's pretty good. Let's get our speed up here. Alright, so it's got basic, it definitely has the basic fly-by-wire logic implemented. And now I'm not gonna shut everything off and go into alternate and direct law right now. We'll do that tomorrow. But overall, just hand flying it here, I mean, it feels pretty good. I mean, we are at 15,000 feet. Sometimes I get this weird, like, I don't know what I'm getting. It almost feels like I get a weird twitch when I don't know, maybe my side stick noise? I can't imagine it'd be that. So you're just gonna roll in nice and easy, hold it here. I'm just gonna hold this for a second. I wanna see if it overrides me. Trying to override me. But I can hold it in there. Alright, that's good. I'm sure the passengers are nice and sick now. Alright, let's recover the airplane. We're gonna just go level wings here. I'm gonna do a couple of different things. We're just gonna go direct to edger, insert. We're gonna go autopilot 1. I built them the wrong way. Should have went flight directors first. Flight directors on. We're gonna do open descent down to 13,000. Get rid of the bird. And we are now navin. So we are open descent nav. I'm going to put these into the climb detent, which they are, and then we'll hit auto thrust. Now we are thrust idle, open descent, naving. We're back on track. Drew a little circle on the ND there, but that's normal. I guess maybe not normal, but maybe it thought we needed to go right. We're actually going to go left because we were in the hold. Maybe that's what it was thinking. Also go increase speed at 250 knots. Get rid of that. We'll just go back to this cam for now. 250, 13,000, thrust idle, open descent nav. I'm going to do another direct to. We'll just redirect us to Davies. We'll do that. We'll just do another redirect, clean up the box. There we go. That looks perfect. We got our sticks. We got everything there. That looks good. Davies is actually at 13,000 or above. So we're looking good. I will be testing engine failure very soon. Very soon. Why no stall? Because we're in normal law. Now, you can stall the Airbus. You can stall the Airbus. But in normal law, theoretically, there is a lot there to prevent you from stalling. Now, remember, as an aviator, as good aviators, you never want to say always or all the time because you never really know what situation can occur. But it's pretty hard to stall it in normal law. I will say that. Let's go ahead and remash it up. Looks like we got a ping from New York Center on 2532. We're going to be flying an ILS pretty much down to minimums here, it looks like. So let's go ahead and get redialed in. 2532. I heard a reversion chirp. I wonder what I'm missing. We'll go 2532 on the comm. What did we do here? Speed, descent, nav, out is armed. All right, we're looking good. We're going down to 11,000. We're a little bit below path. Totally normal. Status is normal because we have a pop circuit breaker. This center or approach? This is center. New York, good afternoon. Cactus 357, 12.4, descending to 10,000 on the Corey 4.
Cactus 357, New York Center. Hello, recycle transponder, squawk 7150.
Squawk 7150, Cactus 357. All right, 7150 is set.
New York approach, Delta 2477 on the approach 52 right.
What we'll do is we'll do one ILS. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do an ILS. We're going to shoot this approach. We're going to do a balked landing go-around. We'll do a last-minute go-around. So I'm going to actually try to flare it and land it touchdown, and then we're going to do a go-around. I will...
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
Maintain 10,000. Expect the ILS 4 approach.
Send a 10,000. Expect ILS 4 for Cactus 357. We're going to do a normal landing here first. Then we're going to do a go-around.
Subscriber ahead.
I will clear the
Look
weather,
up.
disconnect from... might not be able to disconnect. Here's what I do. I want to say I want to disconnect and just do a hand-flown approach, but we'll see. We'll do a go-around, and then we'll see if we can clear the weather out and do a visual approach, and that way we can hand-fly it all the way down. Now, one other thing is this, we'll have to check if it's bus equipped. Got the old ADIRS in there. This is an old ADIRS panel here. Probably not bus equipped. Alright, so we're out of... That was pretty close. Just missed that restriction by 500 feet, but that's Airbus for you. We're descending 10,000 now. We're speed descent nav. We never did get that out constraint star there, but we've been messing with the airplane, so who knows. Everything else looks good there. LS push buttons on. Our MDAs are set. I'm going to turn the cabin back on for wing views. So we're going to go back to the home page here. We're going to go FENIX.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
And we're going to go cabin visibility on. And we're going to try that into LaGuardia in IMC. We'll see what the performance does. Remember, we're descending via Koi 4, 10,000. We're looking good.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
All right, 10,250. Everything is looking real good. Thanks for the new subscribe, guys. Here we go. There's that nice window view. I still like... I was always a before in front of engine view, but because they're CFMs, I like the rear engine view. Will you use the old gauges for the backup display sometimes? Yeah, we can throw that. I just, when I loaded in this airplane, I just did airline settings. I didn't mess with it, but yeah, you can use the different displays from the ISIS to the old uncaging of the attitude indicator. Yeah, we are flying 106 US. It did go in the Hudson.
New York Center, Delta 116 is climbing fast, flight level 350 for flight level 380. Delta 116, New York Center, hello, squawk 7165. What's going on?
That sounds like Mr. Blue Games.
What up, 7165, Delta 116.
Yeah, so these are CFMs. I'm obviously biased. I think, in my personal opinion, that the IAs look better. They sound better. They perform better. Especially on taxi out, like the CFMs. The CFMs, you actually need a little bit of thrust on taxi. These, the IAEs, almost tend to run away from you depending on your load. But the difference is basically negligible. It almost just is just basically what your personal preference, and aesthetically, my personal preference is the IAE V2500. I do have failures enabled. The plane is feeling good so far, Jackson. What I'm going to do, though, like I said, we're going to do this approach, and we're going to go around, and then I'm going to try to clear the clouds out and just do a visual landing, and we'll go from there. Controversial CFM fans, be loyal. Yeah, CFMs belong on Boeings, man. CFMs belong on Boeings. Yeah, CFMs belong on Boeings. The aircraft is equipped with the bus. Awesome, Maxim. We're going to get into that tomorrow. Have I ever flown in a Philly? Pfft, all the time. I used to be based in Philly, man. For 5 years, I was based in Philly. This is the Thrustmaster version of the stick 767 driver. So exclamation point stick, and then there is a video in the description as well, and I go over why I chose what I chose.
Maintain 7,000, LaGuardia altimeter 2957.
Descend to maintain 7,000, 2757 for catch 357.
Yes, sir, it's 2975.
2975, thanks for catch 357. All right, 2975 is set once, twice, 3 times. We're down to 5,000. We're going through 10. Where's that switch? Oh, I love that. I love that. We do have ATC on. We'll get that on. So because we have ATC, real world tip here, captains most, that's not true because I worked at one operator where the FO did the lights too, but generally speaking, captains will control the lights. You know, it's over here, it's easier to reach, but when we have an approach clearance, we'll turn this light on, and when we get a cleared to land clearance, we'll turn the nose light on. So it's very easy, you know, when I'm on short final, I'm like, hey, did we get a landing clearance? I can look up here at the overhead and be like, oh yeah, we did. Now, of course, you can always ask, and that's the recommended version, but it's more so if it's not in the right position. Like, say you're on short final, and I look up here and I see my nose light's not on, I'll be like, hey, did we get a landing clearance? And we'll call and just double check. But that's the real position for us. That's what we use. Everything on below 10 except the turn off and the nose light, because they're obviously inside the well anyway. You can't see them. All right, here I'm loving the symbology here. We've got multiple sticks here. We've got the descent path recapture, basically that's what that is. And then the blue line, that's the bottom of descent, and then there was top of descent. Now it's all kind of coming together as we're in an open descent mode, but it's good to see that we at least have the symbology on the ND now. This little squiggly line is actually predicated on half speed brakes as well. So if you're descending and you see this running away from you, that's normal. It's probably because you don't have the speed brakes out. This is based on idle thrust with half speed brake. If you get a caution, if the barrows are a different setting, why aren't they synced by the aircraft itself? When would you need the cabin MEFO's barrows be different? In case there's a failure, maybe, Chris? But
V1, what can you tell me about your own opinion of the FENIX A320 and the cost is worth it?
It's basically, maybe it's probably old, it's too old to do sync, but I think, I don't know why they don't auto sync, but I mean, it's not that hard. If you take away change in the altimeter, there's hardly anything left for pilots to do, right? Super Doe, thanks for that $2 dono, man. What do I think so far of the FENIX? I'm thinking it's a very nice airplane, definitely worth the money. Obviously, this was provided to me for media purposes, so I did not purchase this airplane. However, I do think it is the next bar in flight sim. And I mentioned this a little bit earlier in cruise. I said, you know, we used to compare things to PMDG or FS Labs. It didn't matter which sim you were on. There was always a benchmark airplane that you based everything else off of. And in my opinion, going forward now, people are going to be basing their simulated systems and the depth of simulation, all going to base it off of the FENIX. They'll say, well, how is it compared to the FENIX? Because this airplane can do a lot of stuff, and even with the EFB and the way they've got this laid out, it's just, it's very, very complete package. All right, so we're level 5,000, 250 on the speed. We're expecting the ILS. I wish I could brighten up the cockpit a little bit. I guess I can't. Somebody said there was an NVIDIA setting for that. I might have to look into that. All right, but we're 4,000 feet. What was the, what was the cloud layer at? Broken at 1,400, 4 miles and drizzle with mist. Should be fun. Should be fun. How are we doing on fuel? We're looking good. 8.3. We're level 4,000. Setting up for the ILS 4. There we go. Now you can see the cockpit better. That's ridiculous. Yeah. It's like putting sunglasses on. It really is. There we go. Now we can see what we're doing. Flying right over the top of an overcast layer is very bright. It's very bright. Broken at 700, Gustavo. Here we go. It's game time. Breakout will definitely be juicy. Okay, so what do we do? Do we do a full landing and then watch the replay? Or do we do... I don't know what we should do here. I don't know if we should just do a go around and then
Cactus 357, Jim opening 010, descend and maintain 4,000.
010, descend 4,000, Cactus 357. All right, so 010 on the heading. Full heading. 4,000 is set. Thrust idle, open descent. We're plus 20. We don't need any engine anti-ice, but we're in and out of the clouds. I wonder if this is for spacing, so I'm not going to draw a line just yet. I'm not going to clean up the box because this might be for spacing. All right, we'll do a full landing with the replay, and then if we have time, I'll load us up on the runway, and I'm just going to do a visual traffic pattern. Excuse me. We'll fly around, and I want to see how the airplane really does handle low level. So we'll do that. We have time. It's only 11:30. If I can be out of here by 12:30, that's perfect. So we'll do that. Let me get flight recorder fired up here. We'll just do a, we'll start up somewhere in maybe Dallas or something, and then on the runway. Because I know everybody wants to know, how does it really hand fly? And I know exactly where you're coming from asking that question. So I don't feel like I'm qualified to answer that just yet, because I want to get some hand flying done So we'll do that on stream. So far, my thoughts, Pharaoh Birdie, are really good. The immersion that you get from this airplane, and it's not just the airplane itself, it's everything that comes with it, is kind of, honestly, nothing that you've really seen before. Now, you saw a little bit with FS Labs.
357, turn right heading 040.
Right turn 040, Cactus 1547. Or 357.
Well, trying to check in.
040 on the heading.
Speedbird Concord 189 New York Center. Hello, Fox 7.
Looks like he's kind of setting me up for, maybe it's for traffic. Yeah, so I'm just going to let I'm not going to clean up the box just yet. We do have a status message. We have a pop circuit breaker. We already went over that. That's fine. We'll let maintenance know. Don't forget the wedding. Yeah, I will not forget. I even have an alarm set on my phone just in case. 725 watching, 400 likes. Guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button for the FENIX A320. These guys have absolutely crushed this. I think this airplane is going to be I don't think, I know this airplane will be a benchmark moving forward. This airplane's a benchmark moving forward for any further aircrafts that release on this platform and platforms to come. Obviously, it's not perfect. I said that in the very beginning. It's not perfect, but it's very good. No one's claiming that it's perfect. As far as performance goes, like frames, I did notice it was pretty heavy there, but I had my CPU set to render displays. Right now, I think we're doing pretty good. I changed that to GPU rendering, and it's performing quite well. I haven't really noticed any performance degradation yet. The true test will be here landing in LaGuardia when we come in over the numbers, and we're at overcast, drizzle, and mist in New York City. So this will be a real test, a stress test of performance while streaming, mind you. Streaming does take a significant chunk of performance from your computer. So if I wasn't streaming, generally I gain automatically 10 upwards of 15 FPS right off the bat just by not streaming. So good afternoon. We'll see. We'll see how it does. This will be an ultimate stress test, performance test for landing in New York here in the rain and mist. So we got a full-scale deflection here. I don't know. Are we not landing on 4? And New York for Cactus 357.
Go ahead.
Initially, I thought we were landing 4. Do we have a different runway planned here?
Cactus 357, yeah, sorry, I was just looking around here for the ILS 22. It looks like they're switching up the runways on us, but sorry about that. They just changed it the last time. Do you want to go back to 4, or do you want to take 22 instead?
No, that's not a problem. We'll set up for the ILS 22. We're just going to need an extra minute here.
Sorry about that. I forgot to tell you. They just switched over.
Not a problem at all. We are set up right now. We'll expect the ILS 22 for Cactus 357.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to do, actually, I want to go back. Temporary race. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go LaGuardia. I'm going to go back to my flight plan page. Oh, we're already off the star. Okay, that's fine. We're going to go, wait, what? Did we fly by it now? Oh, now I really screwed it up.
Cactus 357, he's going to maintain 3,000.
It's going to maintain 3,000, Cactus 357. ILS 22, no star, no VIA. And now I'm going to go
Over to Unicom.
fly the airplane.
116,
I'm sorry, we said 3,000, so we're going to go 3,000 set.
Radar
Pull that. We're in heading mode, so now we're going to go secondary, activate secondary. And we got yo man, so we're going to go direct. Yo man, radial in 045, insert that. So now we've got the box cleaned up for the ILS 22. We need to change our minimums. So we're coming back over here. Arrival. Oops. Approach ILS 22 now. Loading chart. So the new mins, we got 110.5 and 212 in the barrel. So we're going to come over here. We're going to go 212. No nav intercept. That's because I didn't pull it. The This is nice. All the data transitioned over as it should. All right, so there we go. Double check our FMA. We're speed out heading. 110.5 now for ILS 22. Our new minimums of 212 is set. We already extended the line. The way that I just set this up in the box is 100% real and true to the real airplane. No glitches, no weird drawings on the ND. So as of right now, we are 10 for 10 on McDo functionality. You can see I've activated the secondary. Everything is in there as it should. I think I got to update this. 2975. 2975 now is what he gave us. But 10 for 10 on McDo functionality there. Sometimes that really messes.
Turn right heading 130.
Right turn 130, Cactus 357. Sometimes that'll really mess with certain add-ons when you start doing abnormal things in the box. That was very normal, and all I did was do it how I would in the real airplane, and it responded perfectly. So we're looking good there. He's not giving us a speed restriction here. We're still 250. I'm going to help myself out now. I'm going to just drop it back to I'm going to bring it back to 210. I typically like going right to 180, but this is New York. They'd probably say something if I dropped it to 180 right now. Most common in real life right now, the traffic is so heavy in here that you'd be getting a speed restriction anyway. All right, so we're on base leg 210. Here comes our VFE. We're minus 10 now. Let's go ahead and go flaps 1.
Cactus 357, turn heading 190, you're 5 from Greco, maintain suitable established, cloud ILS, runway 22 approach.
190 on the heading, 2 till established, cleared ILS 22 approach for Cactus 357. All right, so 190, we're going to dial this all the way over. 190 on the heading, approach 2. We're coming all the way back to 180, and I need to verify that I did indeed activate the approach phase. So 180 is set. We're coming back. Glide slope blue, lope blue. He said 2 till established. I'm going to start down now. Engine 2 loop B, clear status. That's normal and proper. That ECAM would pop up. There's VFE next minus 10, flaps 2.
Over the frequency there, try checking your mic.
And perf, we are activated and confirmed. Wind check.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
0406.
040 at 6. That's an easy way to do that. That was zeroed out because that was from our departure. 040 at 6. Cool. All right, we're flaps 2. Everything looks good. Let's go tiller cam, live cam. We'll start the recording as soon as we hit the loc here. Glide slope. Blue loc star. We're turning final.
621 New York, 5x5.
How's she doing here on the intercept? Pretty good, pretty good. Airbus does have a, what's that, lead to intercept or whatever it's called? Can't think of the name. All right, recording is on. Recording is on, just waiting for the glide slope. If we have to go around, which we hope we don't, it would be 3,000 on the go around. So right now we're set, we're at 2,000 feet, just about. So remember, 2,000 feet from touchdown, 180 knots, flaps 2, you are set.
71040
Clear to land 22, catch 357. See, I got a little distracted here, a little bit task saturated, but there we go. We're clear to land. I got all my switches on now. But flaps 2, 180 knots, 2,000 feet above the touchdown zone, you are set. As soon as this glide slope comes in, immediately drop the gear, manage speed, drop the gear, and configure all the way. You'll be stable by 1,000 feet every time, all the time. Well, remember, never say all the time or every time, but 99.9% of the time, that's all you need. Thank you, Fubar. I'll enjoy it. There's glide slope star. Manage speed. Gear down. Speed brakes arm. VFE next, minus 10. Flaps 3. I feel like the flaps were louder when I did my very first test flight. VFE next, minus 10. Flaps full. Something might be messed up with my sounds. I don't know. Glide slope. All right, we are missed approach altitude. 3,000 is set. Damn, look at this. What's our temps? Plus 14, so we're still good. Wow, this is no joke. 99.9% of the time it works all the time. We're doing manual brakes. Recording is on. Flap shake? Wait, there's flap shake? Are you serious? Oh my gosh, there's flap buffeting. Can you guys make that out? There's flap buffeting. That's it. I'm done. I'm quitting my day job. I'm just gonna fly this airplane for the rest of my life. I'm done. I'm done. I don't need to go to work anymore. I'm done. That's ridiculous. Runway's in sight. Let's hand fly it from now. We'll go autopilot off. I don't have that bound. I gotta bind that. Remember, you want to disconnect it from the side stick. That way you don't get an ECAM, because if you disconnect it from the FCU, it will treat it as an autopilot failure. You get that autopilot fail on the ECAM. You don't want that. All right, we're Cat 1. I'm gonna leave auto thrust on again because I didn't bind the disconnect. I just want to see how she lands here.
New York Center, good morning, Southwest 449 with Fox, ready for taxi LaGuardia.
Get back on the slope.
Southwest 449, New York Center, hello, runway 13.
Runway, landing.
Bravo and Papa, hold short, runway 22.
Get back on the slope there. Pitch attitude seems about right for a glide slope. Ooh, got a little high there. I'll just go visual with the runway. We're one red now. Get a little high. Ooh, ran away. Oh, glide slopes are off. Isn't that a bug now? Somebody said that's a bug. Glide slopes are off at Microsoft, but they're bugged out.
Minimum.
No, we're definitely a little bit high here. There we go. We're on the slot. A little bit of a frame drop. Not bad though.
50, 40,
you can feel that.
30, 20, retard. 10, 5.
Float it out. Man, jeez. Spoilers. Very twitchy on the rudders there. 70 knots.
Cactus 357 up on LaGuardia, 2 left turns, Bravo to the ramp. Have a good night, B1. Take it easy.
2 left turns, Bravo to the ramp. Thanks for the ATC. Talk to you later. Catch 357. All right, here we go. Or 2 left turns.
And New York Center, Delta.
Whoa, that was steep.
7113.
Yeah, definitely. There is a performance hit. I'm not gonna lie.
Runway 13, taxi left to Bravo and Papa.
So let's go ahead and clean it up here. Oop, I'm gonna stop the recording.
Left Bravo, Papa, hold short 22, Delta.
Now we are LaGuardia. I mean, this is a true test. We are LaGuardia in overcast. Let's take a look at how everything's running here. It's using a lot of the CPU. CPU's running at 95% again. 4.68 is the clock speed on the CPU. Now it seems to be coming down. It's at 70%. It's staying high though. It's staying, I don't think it's gone below 70% the entire stream. It's been between 70 and 95%. GPU hasn't eclipsed 50% the entire stream. It's right now, it's at 44. So whatever is causing that issue, it's coming from the CPU. LaGuardia plus FENIX plus overcast. What we're gonna do is we're going to, I'm gonna fire up on a quick reposition just to do a hand flying traffic pattern. We'll go somewhere that's less taxing. Like maybe we'll go, DFW is pretty terrible. Maybe we'll go to like Sky Harbor or something. Yeah, we'll go to Sky Harbor. That sounds good. Disarm the speed brakes. Flaps are coming up. Why are those still up? Oh, the reversers are still out. I'm going to leave the lights on for replay. Pete S, man, thank you for the 6 months of membership. He says, this has set the bar so high, I'm worried about other devs. Here's the thing. It's just, like I said, I don't know if you want to worry about other devs, but it is the new bar. I mean, it is definitely the new bar.
Cactus 357 at Foxtrot, sidestep over to Alpha. Thanks.
Foxtrot 5 Alpha ramp, Cactus 357. I think I just might have missed that, but we'll just go in here.
449, Father Golden, accept a departure 10406, runway 13.
We'll go ahead and disconnect from VATSIM. Norfolk. But I'm just making sure, yeah, we don't have toolbar pushback installed. Everything looks good there. So even just coming to the gate here, yeah, the CPU is bottlenecking. That's what's doing it. Remember, the lights are on because we're going to do a quick replay here. Man, we don't want to see the clouds, do we? Should I clear the weather? All right, so let's go ahead and put you guys into replay mode. All right, that's set. Let's go ahead and watch. I'm going to reconfigure to flaps full, rearm the speed brakes. There is a change of state in the Phoenix, Chris. Yeah. That looks good. All right, let's go ahead and replay this. But we got to test these at these airports. I mean, LaGuardia Payware is not, you know, it's we're LaGuardia Payware in IMC all the way down. So this is probably one of the worst case scenarios. And cabin is on. You're absolutely right. All right, let's take a look at this replay. Can't see anything. I feel like we should have changed the weather. I'm gonna change the weather. Let's do live weather off, and let's do few clouds. There we go. Obviously there's some falter. Wow, look at that. Let's see how it handles. Speed brakes are up. This is the first time doing a replay. I want to see how the replay animations are. No, it would not have been an auto land. That wasn't even the minimums. Ooh, that's loud. I don't know why we got that right spoilers up. That's probably just a replay bug. Unfortunately, it's on the wing that I want to look out of. Replay seems pretty darn smooth. Let's see here. So even in replay mode with clear weather, we're 70-ish% on the CPU. Now if I can just block that view right there. Look at that. That is nice. I did, Chris. I did. I think we'll be in that tomorrow. Aaron says if this was an SOP flight, we'd still be in Charlotte filling out paperwork and discussing how bad the food in tonight's Holiday Inn. Absolutely, man. Hotel complaint form, man. Hotel complaint. Exactly. What I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna make sure the displays are on GPU. I think I might change my encoding as well to be GPU. Oh, I can't do that while streaming. I'm going to do a quick reset of the sim, and then I'm going to fire us up in more of a traditional. We'll go out of, we'll do FENIX, because we did FENIX yesterday in the PMDG. So we're going to go to FENIX right after this landing, and then we're just going to do maybe 2 traffic patterns. We got about 20 minutes of time left. So that'll be perfect. We'll do that. We'll see this landing from the wing view here, and then we'll go outside. I mean, LaGuardia, new LaGuardia scenery, maxed out. It's working there. The spoilers went down finally. That's pretty nice. Close that. So I think I had to pop the reverse reanimation open to get the reverse reanimation open. Let's see. Looks like the spoilers went down initially. That's cool. Look at that flap shaking. Absolutely love the flap shake. Oh my gosh. That is awesome. Oh, so now these are up. Look at the flaps there. Just buffeting a little bit. Let's watch this one from outside. Wing flex, yeah, wing flex looks perfect, Jeff. We'll see how we touch down. We did have a little bit of a float. Now, again, remember, I am on pretty much max settings. You can definitely turn them down to save frames if that's an issue. You just got to start somewhere. I don't just want to turn things down assuming I will need to, because then you don't really know where your performance is. So after that flight, I'm assuming we're going to need to dial down a little bit. Well, a little firm there. We just kind of plopped her down. Oh, see, I didn't need to trigger the reverse reanimation on that one. Got that nose gear a little bit twitchy on touchdown. Remember, above, coming in at over the numbers like that at 140 knots, the nose wheel is pretty much locked out from castering. The only yaw axis you have is the rudder at that point. As you decelerate, the nose wheel becomes more effective, and then, of course, the tiller will become effective as well. All right, we'll watch one more replay, and then we're going to do just a quick reset. I'm actually going to reboot the sim, so I'll throw up the Be Right Back screen for like less than 5 minutes. And then we'll reboot. We'll go out of Phoenix because that's kind of a tried and true airport. We did it just yesterday, and we'll see how the performance is. Gear suspension, that compression looked good. Yeah, I saw that. That looked really good. Watch the landing gear flex. Ooh, yeah, we compressed those struts a little bit. We definitely compressed those struts. All right, awesome. Let me throw the Be Right Back screen up. We're gonna reset again. I will be here in about 2 minutes, however long it takes me to reset the sim, and we'll give it a go from there. So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Obviously, the obvious drawbacks for me as of right now, and I'll do a final conclusion of what I think of everything here at the end of the stream. Startup sounds, I don't know if it's something on my end, because everyone said it sounded different for everybody else's stream. So there could be something I have set wrong. So I don't want to comment on that just yet. Obviously, the immersion is incredible. The amount of detail that's simulated, the texturing, the modeling is awesome. Performance is definitely a thing. It's definitely put a hit to my system, but let's go ahead and test it somewhere where we know kind of a baseline there in Phoenix. So I will be right back, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around with me. I will see you here in about 2 to 3 to 5 minutes. Cheers. Alrighty, I think we are back at it here. Let me just make sure everything is set up on the sound side. Here we go. All right, so we are back. I just loaded up on the runway here. I'm going to do a panel state here. So I'm going to just show you guys. We'll go ahead and get the EFB on. And I just want to make sure we have proper panel state. So I selected runway for departure, and it automatically put the airplane running. But I want to just make sure that we do it from here. So I'm going to do ready. Activate ready state, which I think it's already in a ready state. Looks like we're pretty much aligned. Everything's coming together. How are we looking over here now? So right now, performance-wise in FENIX, we're still looking good. 48% on the GPU, 65% on the CPU. Frames seem decent, but they seem decent when we're not really moving around, so everything looks good. All right, we're in a ready state. Can I program a failure here? Let's see. I want to do sim settings. No. Let me just make sure everything is here. ISIS, metric standby, I don't want that. Auto TCAS, lav that off. Yellow hydraulic. Auto switch. Let me go controls. That all saved. All right, everything pretty much saved. I just wanted to make sure that it's cool. All right. Okay, so we don't have any V speeds, but that's fine. I'm going to come up to the overhead. Why do I have a status message? Fire loop is back in. What are we waiting for over here? What's up? We got center tank pumps, center tank fuel unusable. That's normal. This is an old thing here. We'll go pumps off for now. All right, let's do this real quick. Initialization. I want to just do FENIX to FENIX. We'll do FENIX right there. I'm just going to do random cost index. We'll do 5,000 feet. And flight number is 123. IRS and NIT's already been aligned. I know we've got to do the align with the NIT B page. Zero fuel weight and all that stuff. Right now we're sitting at 130.5 and 27.3. 135 and 27.3. 130.5 and 27.3. Put that in there. That should reinitialize that. As far as speeds, we are set for a flaps 1. We'll do a flaps 1 takeoff, Toga. And V speeds, what's our weight? We're 150. Oh, geez, 153. Ooh, that could be a spicy RTO. All right, let's do 130. 138. Now 147. Now, real quick, can I do perf takeoff? I just want to sync everything. Let's go. Invalid simulation. Let's see. FENIX, we're off runway 8. No, we're on 26. We're sitting on 26. Dry. We're going to do optimum, force Toga, off, packs on. And that is synced to live weather. Now we calculate that. How many entries invalid? Check and try again. Oh. Takeoff weight, 153.6. 153.6 on the takeoff weight. And CG, what do we say? 27.3. That is set. Now, there we go. 25, 29, 34. Now let's go config
Subscriber.
failures, manual failures. I want to do something that would trigger an RTO.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
Thank you for the new subscribe. None of these. I'm looking for like a side stack fault. Return. Ooh, oh, hydraulics, that would be nasty. Fire. Engine 1. No! No, 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 no. I don't want it right now. Evac. Evac, evac. Evacuate, evacuate, evacuate. Shoot, I didn't want that. Can I turn that off? Alright, cool. Conditional. Engine 1. Above. So what was our V1 speed? We're 125. Let's do 100. Let's do I mean, this is going to be close. I'll show you what they do to us in the sim. So we'll do I don't want it above. I want at. Let's just say above 120. That's real. That's me. Let's do 110. Let's do 115. All right, above 115. Arm. All right. That is set. This is just for fun purposes. I want to see how we get these brakes heated up. We're checking brake heating today. So we're 28C already in Phoenix. We're decently loaded, 153,000 pounds. So we're actually overweight for an air return. We're going to go auto brakes max. Arm the speed brakes. That is good. And we got to go flaps 1. Let me see if I can hear it.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
Okay, all right. That's good. Just giving us a random. Let's just say they said 5,000, and doesn't really matter on the departure. 290 on departure. All right, here we go. Get terrain mode. Is that model? Yeah. Terrain mode on ND. Departing Phoenix. Light it up. Here we go. All right. So what we're gonna test on this departure is an RTO, a very high speed abort, close to V1. Beacons on, wing lights on. Oh, that was in position 1. Cool. Strobe lights on. Seatbelts on. I'm going to need those on for this. Overhead is set. Takeoff config test. Normal. Boom. 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 All right. Here we go. I'm going to need some, let's see. That's good. Ready? Here we go. I don't know what the altimeter are. It doesn't matter. We're not getting airborne. So this is what will happen on a abort. Cactus 357, runway 26, flighting 290, cleared for takeoff. There we go. I'm gonna go tiller cam on. Welcome to Private Pilot, Mr. Bangin. Godspeed. Spool 'em up 50. Yoga. Mantoga SRS, auto thrust is blue. That's actually good training. Thrust set, check. 100 knots, check. Reject, I have control. Spoilers, reverse screen, decel. You can use reverse to aircraft stop. Set the parking brake. Flight attendant stations. All right, engine 1 fire. Agent 2 discharge. Agent 2, well, I should say, oh, just straight to the discharge. Really? Wait a second. Okay. Should have to push that. That arms the squibs. Engine 2 discharge, or engine 1 discharge. Boom, squib 1 is out. Engine 1 fire, clear engine 1 fire, clear engine 1 fire, clear hydraulic. And now we've got basically the evac checklist. Maybe that's why. Okay, maybe they want to just do the evac checklist. And then we would do the evac checklist. So that's shutting down. Squib is blown. And that is quick. Oh yeah, we're still in reverse. That's just a binding issue. It should have come out. There we go. But we're going to watch our brake temps there. Let's see what happened. So we are at 106C. I've done an RTO at about 100 knots before, and we were over 500C before clearing the runway. So let's see what happens here. I just want to give it a minute. But that's how quick it happens. I mean, it was just almost V1. You got to just be right into the reverse. Don't touch the brakes. Let the auto brakes do the reject for you. 205. Yeah, those would be way hotter right now. Those wheel temps would be way hotter. I think you did an engine one fire without the possibility to extinguish. I don't know. I think that's got me looking now. I don't know. I mean, it's just said squib 1 discharge. You can't discharge the squibs if you don't press the engine fire push button. So normally I was expecting to see engine 1 fire push button there, and then you push that. When you push the engine fire push button, it does a couple things. It isolates the engine, so it shuts the hydraulic, shuts the fuel, kills the generator, shuts the pack off, does all those things, and it arms the squibs. You cannot disperse the squibs unless they are armed. So like, for instance, I just tested that. So here's agent 1 and 2 for engine 2. I can press this all day long. It ain't gonna happen until you arm it by pressing the engine fire push button. Now the engine fire push button will shut down the engine. So you can see here, that's normal. We just shut down. That's good. But what I wanted to do is put that back, and I guess our brake temps are not going to be. I should have started the APU so we could see what was happening. Damn it! I just want to see if our brake temps are going to skyrocket here at some point. Let's go back to. Let me just put ground power on real quick. Ground services. Give me ground power. Bring us back online. We'll check our temps. Do not have brake fans equipped on this airplane right now. That was me, Guru. That was me, the RTO. Yeah. Lee Barber, no, because the first step should be the fire push button, because you want to populate. You need to prime the squibs. If you got an engine fire, you got to shut the engine down. You can't just blow the squib. You got to actually push the engine fire push button. And remember, if you push the engine fire push button, this is, if you're ever on a check ride, it's actually pretty easy to remember. That's a common question. What happens when you press the engine fire 1 push button? Well, you just go down the panel. Isolates the hydraulic engine-driven pump for number 1. It closes the low-pressure fuel valve. It disconnects the generator 1, takes it offline. It also closes the pack, it shuts the engine 1 bleed off, and the same would be for engine 2. So you just work your way down the panel. That's what happens when you push this. Now, you can actually push these to shut down the engine. That's part of an abnormal shutdown checklist. If the engine master switch faults and you can't turn off the engine by selecting engine master off, then you do, in fact, press the engine fire push button to shut the engine down. Right now, we are looking at, 290. Yeah, that is incorrect. These temps would be well over 600C right now. An RTO at 110 knots at 156,000 pounds, it would be probably well over 500 pounds right now. Well over 500 pounds. Or 500 pounds. 500 degrees. There's our hot brake ECAM. That's normal. But, yeah, so. All right, let's go ahead and reset. So I wonder how I can do this here. Let's just go boom. Let's push that back in. I'm going to go back down here. Oh, that's going to be loud. McDo, maintenance, failures. I like how you can do the flight freeze. Oh wait, no, cancel that. Oh my gosh. Stop it. Oh, let me go config. Maintenance, return, failures, nope, manual failures, here we go, reset this, make it go back, we should get everything reset. So now, if I reset the panel state, we'll go panel state, we'll just do this ready, activate, we should be able to reset here. No, there's still a fire because I redid it. We're not still on fire. The simulation is over. The fire sim, the RTO is over. Where I'm just doing a panel state. It's going to take a minute to reset everything here. We have enough runway to just do a blast off. We'll do a flaps 3 Toga takeoff with half the runway remaining. We should be able to go. Taking a moment to appreciate the toeless brake model. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Rotorfib. The toeless brake model and temperature was very accurate. Very accurate. Alright, do we have our engines on? Alright, engines are on. And McDo, let's come down here. Flight plan. Init, re-quick do this. I'm going to set this up for the ILS. 2.6 again. No star, no via, insert that, boom. Init B page. We were 130.7 and 27. Cool, that is set. Perf speeds. We're doing flaps 3, 120, 125, 130 would be just fine. Flaps 3 Toga. And now we're just going to do a hand flying. We're just going to do a hand fly. So, can't take off with 300C, obviously. But we're just going to do this for testing purposes. I want to see how the hand flying is in this airplane. So, are you guys ready? Let's see if we can take off from this short of field. It's going to be tight. It's going to be very tight. We're going to do a full short field takeoff. I'm actually going to turn the packs off. Actually turn that off. Wait, hold on. We still have faults on the overhead. Stand by, stand by, stand by. Why are our generators still faulted? Oh, I got to reset them. Okay. There we go. Now we're back in action. I gotta wait for that. Alright, one more second, then we'll be out of here. We're ready to go. Melonix, I'm not sure where it would come from, but I can tell you right now that RTO at 115 knots in Phoenix, you're gonna be over 500C. Easily. Easily. In fact, you know, the RTO that I did, high speed, we actually went to a hot brake area. So, because the brakes were so hot, we didn't want anybody near the aircraft, and you actually have to have fire trucks standing by in case you get a wheel fire. That's how hot the brakes will get. I mean, RTO is maximum braking. I mean, it is as much brakes as it can get without sin. Obviously, anti-skid is active, right? So, looks like it's all coming to life. All right, there we go. There's our triple chirp, 130. I'm just going to manage that. Maybe rearm you. I'll just do 250. It doesn't matter. We're just going to hand fly. I just solely want to do a hand flow in traffic pattern right now. Align time, 7 minutes. Yeah, anti-skid. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It prevents you from skidding out. No, that's what we want. Oh, it took all my speeds out? Jeez. Sorry guys, it's taking forever here. No star, no via, insert. Cool. That's fine, that's good. Here we go. I know we're not aligned, but is there a way to force align that? I thought there was. I know there's a way to change that. I thought there was. Sim settings. No, it's not under my flight. Panel states. I already did ready. Oh, let's just go. It's good. Here we go. We're literally just flying. We want to see the hand flying. So we're going to spool it up 50. We're going to hold the brakes. Yeah, sounds could be a little better, no lie. Let's go. Toga. Let's see if we can get out of here on this short runway. Man, Toga, SRS, nav, auto thrust is blue. It's gonna be tight. Maybe real tight. V1. Rotation feels good. Rotation feels really good. See how that nose dropped there? That's because I went forward on the stick. That's good. I'm immediately just going to go flight directors off and give myself the bird here. Lower the nose a little bit. Go ahead and make, we'll make left traffic. I know we should make right traffic, but I want to make left traffic here. Come all the way around. Go straight to flaps 1. Oh, I wanted to disconnect the auto thrust. That's why I did that. That's me. That's not the airplane. That's me. All right, we're going to level about 3,000 feet. Bring our power back. We're just doing hand flying testing right now. Hand flying testing only. Go ahead and just clean it up. I want to see how it configures. We'll go flap 0. Let it clean up here. I think we need to be a little bit higher. We'll go about 3,500. Continue a left-hand turn out here. We'll go back, climb detent.
Bourbon 1 leaving my airspace frequency. Change approved.
Roger that. 10 degrees, climb detent, almost 250 knots, that's about right. Power, pitch power seems good. I guess we'll go to 4,000. 4,000 set. 250 knots, we'll level it off here. Lower that nose, remember you just split the horizon with the bird. Bring our power back. Oh, and the performance. So I'm going to say I went to that GPU. Seems much better for the FENIX and the FENIX options. I selected GPU. The performance is really good here. CPU is still high workload. I mean, it's running 70% sustained. I mean, I don't have the most powerful CPU, though. That's for sure. Yeah, so there's 6 different FENIX tabs that are open in Task Manager. They're taking some power.
Bourbon 1, please acknowledge.
But the performance here is much better than it was in LaGuardia. I mean, you could tell. I mean, it's buttery smooth. So it's not, obviously it's not as optimized as the PMDG, but I wouldn't say it's drastically different. I'd say you're probably going to lose maybe 10 frames. And remember, I'm also pushing my rig to the limit here with really high settings. Do not have to run high settings or ultra settings to make it look good. I ran this sim with a 1070 and it was just fine. So definitely feeling much better with the performance here now that we're in an area that we know of. All right, let's go ahead and bring the power to idle. We're going to lower that nose just a little bit. I think we get on 4,000 feet, 3,000 at pruns. We'll go ahead and start configuring here. Get a little speed brake out. Get rid of that speed brake. I like how that VLS comes up to beat you. See altitude alert. Watch it. This is good modeling here. VLS. So I'll put the speed brake out. Look at that. See that VLS coming up to meet you? Lower the speed brake. That's good. VFE next -1. We'll go flaps 1. What is that?
Stall.
That was interesting. Okay, VFE next -10, flaps 2. The airplane just shot up there for some reason. I don't know what that was all about. Let's go ahead and slow. Now we literally just jumped up almost 1,000 feet. I don't know what that was all about. You can see the speed brake deflection is now in full because the autopilot is off. True to the real aircraft. Very nice to see that. Let me get my LS on here just so I have some type of guidance. We don't need a speed brake anymore. We'll track that in. Mountain turbulence? Ah, okay. Good old Sim Update 9, huh? But you can see just flying in the sim now, we are buttery smooth right now. Cabin is on. We're still running ultra settings. So are you going to be able to take this airplane with ultra settings into New York in the clouds? You're going to feel it. But if you set your settings right, I'm sure it'll be just fine. I got the runway in sight. Hand flying, I mean, it feels really good. I think what I'm getting is just some of that mountain turbulence, maybe some convective activity. About 160 here. Here comes the glide slope. 55% on the N1 or so. We're looking good. Power performance. All right, here we go. Here comes the slope. Let's go gear down. Speed brakes armed. There's the clunk I was waiting for. VFE next -10, flaps 3. And VFE next -10, flaps full. Landing checklist. Cabin crew advised. Auto thrust is off. ECAM memo. Landing all green. Landing checklist is complete. A little bit high. Correcting. The stick is configured exactly the same as the fly-by-wire, Scott. Yeah, I haven't changed any of the curves. I may take a look into that for tomorrow's stream. Remember, I'm very much testing this here with you guys as I am kind of showing it to you. I'm gonna see what feels right to me, and I might make some tweaks to my sensitivities. They can all be configured in the McDo as well for the airplane specifically. So I might do some tweaking with that, and then tomorrow I might even have a better outlook for you. All right, let's see. I really want to see how it feels on landing, though. I feel like the flaring an Airbus in the sim has always been very, very difficult to replicate. Doesn't matter which platform, P3D, FS Labs, Tolus, Flight Factor on X-Plane,
500.
Fly-by-wire here. I feel like no one has really nailed it. We're going to see right here. I'm really going to just try to see if I can focus on the feeling of the airplane. We are a little bit overweight, so that's never very good. Glide slopes are definitely bugged. That glide slope would put you in the dirt. Still a little bit low.
100.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
50. 40.
Round it out.
30. 20. Retard.
Hard idle. Just
10.
hold it. We're going to float a little bit.
5.
Subscriber ahead.
That feels pretty good. Spoilers. Reverse screen. I'm just going to get on the brakes hard here manual. I'm going to step on them. I want to see if we can get those temps to shoot up. I just stepped on the brakes. And we're stowed. Alright, and I'm going to set the parking brake. Nice rattling sound. Whatever that rattling sound. Awesome. Alright, here we go. Wheel page. Yeah, 230. Jeez, that would be little bit higher than that. Definitely would be higher than that. I want to see something here too. What does the evac command push button do? Evacuate, evacuate, evacuate. Evacuation checklist, not from memory. I don't know, I'm not doing it. No slides modeled yet. Maybe that's coming in the future. Maybe that's coming in the future. All right, let me wrap this up here. It's 12:20. I need to get going. Let me give you guys just a wrap up my initial thoughts, guys. So first off, I want to thank FENIX for giving me this aircraft here in the beta phase to do some streaming before it released. Full disclaimer, I did not pay for this aircraft. They offered it to me and multiple content creators, so I am thankful for that. I'm thankful for the opportunity. Let's take it from the beginning. Now remember, this is only, I've done, what, 3 flights now in the airplane? I will say right off the bat, I want to do some more tweaking, maybe with some sensitivity settings in my joystick and some more calibrating. I will work on that tonight after the wedding. We will be live tomorrow, probably 11 Central Time here in Texas, so about an hour and a half earlier than we are right now. And I'll have more information on that. I think I can make it feel a little bit better with some adjustments to my side stick. I have the same settings that I've always had for the fly-by-wire, so I will take a look at that. Now, moving on to that to kind of keep it going here, let's start from the systems. From what I've experienced so far, systems are really well done, especially all the normal stuff. I'm seeing the green hydraulic system is low in flight because it's holding the gear up. We've talked about the bleeds on the ground. We talked about the... even the evac command, I can hear it going in the background there. Even the ignition on the ground, AB and all that all seems to be modeled. The packs coming on after moving that. So we have some very good normal systems modeling here. I want to see, I'm going to dig more into the emergencies. That one that just raised an eyebrow there, that last one. We had an engine fire on the takeoff roll. We did an RTO. RTO handled perfectly. Good deceleration, spoilers, auto brakes, everything worked well. Brake temps were off. Definitely would have liked to see higher brake temps on that. And the ECAM looked a little bit strange to me. I'd have to double check my books. I don't want to say it's wrong, but I just want to do some more digging. And of course, we're going to do some more ECAM handling tomorrow. So I'll have more to say on deeply leveled systems tomorrow. But overall, A to B systems seem to be really, really well modeled. It's all there. Very good. The sounds, unless I'm doing something wrong, I think they could have done a little better on the sounds. I think the sounds could have been a little bit better. Remember, I'm super critical on sounds. I'm not saying they're bad by any means. It doesn't break the immersion. They are very good sounds. I just think they could have hit some areas better, particularly engine start and that idle thrust, like moving up to taxi in the aircraft. I'm not really hearing any thrust at all when I'm taxiing. When I bring the thrust up to like 30% N1 or something like that. Again, you guys have said it's been louder on other streams, so maybe there's something on my end that I need to check. I will double check that and be back with you tomorrow on that as well. But that's kind of where I'm at with sounds. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Why do I say it's worth it? Saying what I've already said, the encompassing feeling of a complete aircraft and the immersion you get of flying A to B on the line from the EFB. Side note, Katie Pilot, don't know if she even knows who I am, but fantastic job on the EFB. I've said it before, EFB, best EFB I've used in any sim, any airplane ever. I like it better than my own work EFB that I use when I'm flying real world stuff here in the States. So awesome job on the EFB. That encompasses an experience that you get kind of similar to like when we looked at the Challenger Hot Start, you have all that extra stuff you can do. This is the perfect balance between immersion and load sheets and loading and boarding and deboarding, and just being able to get in there and do the pilot's job. Because remember, on the line, there's a lot of other people in play that help you go step by step. You have dispatchers, you have maintenance, you have, what are they called? Gate agents. There's a lot of other people doing things that you want to have the perfect balance in the sim, because you don't want to do everything because that's unrealistic, but you don't want to do nothing because then you don't get the immersion factor driven home. I think they absolutely nailed the immersion on the head, 10 for 10 on that. So I'm very, very excited for this airplane. I still think this is the benchmark aircraft. Everyone's going to be saying from the future, from here on out, they're going to say, hey, how is it in relation to the Phoenix? How is it in relation to the Phoenix? So awesome job, Phoenix. Amir, all the devs over there, you guys did a great job. Guys, be tuning in tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central, most likely. I will put up a live stream event tonight so you guys can see that for tomorrow, and we will be hitting it hard. We'll probably do another normal flight. We'll probably do a flight with an abnormal, and then we might actually do a single engine. I want to see how this airplane flies single engine. So that will be tomorrow. Thank you so much, everybody, mod sponsors, donors. Thank you so much for everything today on the channel. Hit the like button for me on the way out, and I will see you guys very soon. And I'm off to the wedding. Don't forget Rampers Christian. I know tomorrow I will be much more interactive with you guys in chat as well. Don't worry. Today was just kind of, I want to get in. I want to show you guys some stuff. And I think tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun. So I will see you then. Take care. Stay safe. See ya. Today was just kind of, I want to get in. I want to show you guys some stuff. And I think tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun. So